Peloton. Paka-paka.
Paka-paka.
Hey guys, welcome to the close. Couple hours left in a pretty exciting afternoon here. Tons of headlines driving the action so far. We'll talk about SoFi, 2:10 if you missed it. So we got about 10 minutes here before we get SoFi reopened after that, I guess, fat finger earnings report, if you want to call it that, whatever they slipped. Human error is what they called it. Their earnings report out. It was the forecast that came out initially, and then the company comes out with everything as they should. During the halt. So we'll talk about SoFi. Lots of headlines coming from Elon Musk right now, live on FTTV, their stream, their live stream, talking about Twitter. He's talking about Tesla. He's talking about a lot of things. So both Tesla and Twitter moving around. We have DWAC also moving around on a few of the comments from Elon Musk. So lots to get to. Let's jump into how the market is faring. Big rebound right off the bottom happened about lunchtime, 2.5% straight to the upside for the NASDAQ leading the way, 1+ for the S&P, the Dow lagging ever so slightly. Moved down in crude oil, 2.5%, 2.25% for Bitcoin, 4.5% now for Ethereum. Pretty nice looking board here to show you a little bit more green coming through now than when I last showed you this. About halfway through the morning, it's tech leading up here. The entire group pretty much. IBM standing out there, 3% downside. Everything else, though, in pretty good shape. Some of the travel names, as we saw this morning, showing a bit of strength still at this point this afternoon. Same story for communication stocks over here. Netflix, 4% day for Netflix. Nice looking move. Back to the upside. Healthcare stocks are higher. Biogen leading. Lots of news coming from the healthcare group today. Altria, MO, to the downside on some M&A activity over in Europe that happened today. So a nice look right across the board. Quick look at the NASDAQ here. More green to talk about. There's Tesla. Back to the upside as well. 3% for Tesla. Lucid with its own headline today. Lululemon having a nice day, 3%. Zscaler downside off of earnings. Everything else, though, looking pretty good. Hope your day is going well. What a move we've had off the lows. Is this possibly, finally, could it be the bottom? We shall see. Lots of volume still coming in, though, back higher again. As I said, some headlines coming through from Elon, still talking on Financial Times Television, talking Twitter, talking Tesla. We'll get into all of that coming up, as well as SoFi, obviously, the big story this afternoon. If you're joining us for the first time, we spent some time in the afternoon, go back over everything that was available to you for opportunity at the open this morning. We will do that now. We'll talk a little bit about the other ones that I mentioned as well. Sean is here to lead the way, though, with a look at one of his trades.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, what a crazy, crazy day today it's been in the market. We had an upside down kind of day where it all started pretty easy here. A nice move to the downside. Back up, back down, base out, and upside. We're going to use AMD as an example here today. The reason why we zoomed out this whole day was because we used yesterday as our indicator for where to get long. And look at this bottom that was put in yesterday on AMD, 85.50. So we actually were pretty patient with this name. We got caught up a little bit early here at 87, was able to go back to the upside. All was well there. But as the NASDAQ was falling back in, we had to find some support and resistance. And we talk about it all the time. Zoom out, right? If you can zoom out and find to say, hey, yesterday, where was this bottom for AMD? When AMD was falling out of favor early, it was like, okay, what are we going to do? This move down here right at the beginning of the day, we stop at 86.50, which is pretty much why we try to protect that number right there. Able to get out because it went back to the upside pretty quick here, 87, 87.50. But as it came back in, and I don't remember, I must have still had some on board probably. Then we start averaging in. Look where it starts, 86. Then like 80, probably 85.75. Then down here, 85.50. We like it out, get some out here, all around the 50 period, right? Could have it ran up to view up here? Yeah, I mean, you're going to see the late move that happened, and we're actually still long. We're looking to get out, right? Oh, we got out. Okay, so there's a tick in there. I was going to say we're offering 89, so we actually wind up getting out. But look what happens here. I told you guys that it was going to be like a scalping kind of day because I don't have the NASDAQ up here, but the NASDAQ has just ripped up, as you can see. So there goes AMD right back up to the top, right? So buying down here, 85.50, and getting out at 89, right? That's $3, $4, $5 you can capture on these moves, right? So what I try to do is scalp and like take more shares. When you're at key levels, these are levels you can load up on. The mistake that I tend to make is I like the long, So I'm starting to average in as it comes down. The problem when you do that is your main, like the largest amount of shares you probably have is going to be caught in the middle if you've averaged in properly, right? In, giving you an average price in the middle. But the problem is, as it comes down here, if it breaks this 85.50 level, well, then you're going to lose on your whole share size, right? And it's going to be a huge loss. We experienced that today with Facebook, I believe. Instead, what you do is when it comes back in, you take more shares at key levels. Therefore, when it pops back up, you're able to scalp some out. And hopefully, when a move like this happens, you still have some on board. So we just got out there for that big winner on AMD. The point of this trade of the day is, why not take some time right now? We talked about it in this market environment where the NASDAQ can be down 1% and then an hour later up 2%. You know, you're going to be able to get levels if you wait for them. So I think patience, very, very key in this market, especially if you're trying to use bigger shares and catch bottoms and then catch tops. You have to wait for that. It's very hard to play in the middle here on stocks that you know are going to move, especially, Brendan, if they're NASDAQ names.
Yeah, hard left turn for the NASDAQ, back to the upside in a big way so far this afternoon. Here's Tesla. Another one kind of driving the action here back to the upside. We got back through 800, which was key. If we could, there we go. Thanks, Vahan. There's 800 back through to the upside, 3% for Tesla. All right, I want to make sure, I'll keep my eye on the clock here. I want to make sure we get to SoFi at 210. Here's all of what they released. So all of the numbers are here. This happened at 124. So if you go back and see when it halted, it was significantly before that. But the actual report from the company comes out at 124. That's key. In this window, then, over here, these are still comments coming from Elon Musk, guys. So still on FT TV, talking right now about China and the COVID lockdowns and Tesla. But he mentioned a few things about Twitter. One of those was he would reverse the ban for Trump's account and said it was a bad idea for them to do that to begin with. So there's that. So we'll watch Tesla, we'll watch Twitter, but we got to make sure we get to SoFi here at 210.
Yeah, the absurdity and dirtiness of these early releases and what ends up happening to traders, it's not fair, but look, it is what it is. SoFi was tanking all morning long. Upstart was bad earnings. We'll get to that one in a second as well, but there was this move up at 11 o'clock. It was jamming what looked like a pretty positive report, reaffirming guidance and some beats in revenue. Got dropped. They halted the stock down. It's indicating a 510 open now. Now I have to adjust my order because I'm not aggressive enough.
210.
No,
oh, 510.
No, $5.10.
Right, 210 time.
Yeah,
Sorry,
is the open. But the low was 480, 482 down here. So I feel like tight enough to $5 for a long when you could squeeze here on a decent report to 480 is going to make some sense. Now it's 503. So it looks like somewhere between $5 and maybe 510 is where it's going to open up in just a couple of minutes. I do want to have a piece of this to the long side just because like I know some people were caught in the long and are probably going to be covering here, but it was overall a good report. We've seen the rest of the market. Like SoFi's been sitting here while the market went bottom to top. The idea that you could have some positivity in the report and it would sit at the lows doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense to me. So I tend to think SoFi has a chance to go here. So I'm going to try and go the long off that open in about 1 minute. Although I am short like NVAX and Lemonade and getting tested with those two.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm excited here to have SoFi come open here in a minute as well, trying to get my orders ready to go. Okay, but right now, just quickly here, we do have Netflix $8 in the money right now. We got hit early, like just trying to trade this back and forth, but then like I said, sometimes you got to hold. So we actually have 20% still left on here. We're going to use this 180 level as a breaker spot for that. But yeah, Neil's 100% right. Let's just go over to SOFI right now. I don't have any trades in to take this right here. And I guess, do we consider the report better than expected? I mean, I don't know what the guide was. I don't know anything. So I haven't read the report, and who knows? But you're going to
initially it was reaffirmed guidance. I thought the next report said that they raised full year guidance. Maybe I got it wrong, Brandon.
No, I don't know. Maybe you got it right. That's the more important thing. But here we go. SoFi getting ready to rock and roll. Let's go to Brandon quickly.
I was just going to say, guys, yeah, so they did raise guidance, full year guidance, and it was also smaller than expected loss for the quarter.
If the market went to the high, I don't see why this won't squeeze. So like, how are they holding? Why is it getting held down for 510 open? But either way, that's where it looks like it's going to open in just a few seconds here. There we go. So I took some shares at 510. If it breaks the low, which is 482, then fair enough. But to me, that was a pretty good report, and has a chance to squeeze to the upside. Of course, there's about 200,000 shares on the bid at 5 even, so I might take a few more shares in front of that.
Yeah, here we go. So we're long off. We're long off the open as well. But look at the volume coming through. That's not going to matter. But yeah, I'm with Neil there. I just put the stop order in at that bottom 480. So if we take out 480, we'll be out of SoFi right now. But here it goes. We took the long print as well. Looks like it opened up at 510. So there it goes, man. A nice little dump there for SoFi. Now back to the open side of things. Did I just get a piece out? No, I did not. Oh, where was I waiting? Oh, 525. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully it can get back up to the upside. SoFi trying to work out. But really, I guess they opened it up at a great price. I mean, it opened up at 510 and has just been hanging out right here, back and forth with 5 pennies. So SoFi doing tons of volume right now. I think the risk, we're right here, right? That's where it is. So that's the big halt. So there's the open right there. It's hard to look at levels, Neil, right now because the earnings are out.
There's just the low of the day.
That's right.
There's 550 because it's psychological.
You just trade off these levels. That's all that you can do right now. SoFi, it looks like, look, I thought there'd be a little more your fire into this trade, but it doesn't look like there's much here. So SoFi's trying to go. We'll hold out for some highs. I was sitting at 525. If it takes that out, then, we'll be out of 10%. No, sorry, 20% of that trade if we get up there. But, whatever. Right now, it doesn't look like it wants to go much. You still have that low of the day. That's going to be my out. Maybe we'll average in. But right now, SoFi not doing much. Congratulations if you held the long.
Trying to go. Here we go.
Here we go.
It should squeeze. Get up to the quarters. Let's get something in front of the quarters if it goes. Yeah, let's get it squoze. It's a decent report, man. If the market is going from bottom to top, then something like this should be rallying. There's a bunch of sellers at 520, by the way, so taking something out in front of that might make a little bit of sense. I might take a little bit out in front of 520, but not a ton. I still actually want to hold like 80% of this at least. Yep. Going back, but there are some other names that, man, it's been a long time since I've seen a stock do what Novavax did and then go green on the session. So I'm sure I already lost one short this thing. I was kind of mixed. I guess I did win, technically speaking, on that short, even though it stopped out and went higher. But down 53 to 38 to 55 is where Novavax sits. And I'm short in front of the top, giving it just past that high of the day at 55. And that's not working right now. Neither is Lemonade, which might stop out. I'm short that one. It's come all the way back. But here goes SoFi. I would not be surprised if we could actually see, why shouldn't this do what Novavax did? Give me a break. Come on. That actually wouldn't make sense if we don't get at least a 550 on this trade.
Yeah, we got a 526 there. I was actually waiting behind 525. Got another penny right there on that one, so that was a good trade here. Now we'll just let this ride up. I agree with Neil. Who knows? Who knows where this is going to go, man? This has been a beat down stock. It's down to $5. Earnings are now out, and there goes SoFi. So another name here. We've been dancing with Apple upside now here, trying to short, got stopped out a little bit, still holding the short here against that day's high of 156.75. So that's what we're holding right now is Apple. The reason why, again, we just have this high top right there. Who knows if it's going to stay in or not, but the market, I thought we were going to pull back a little bit here. And the reason why we're short Apple is because, we could be short SQ or long SQQ or TQQ if we did want, a little bit more beta into the name, I guess. But this is 12,550 there. So that could be, the high of the day. And if it holds, then I like our chances that Apple can hold the high. But at the same time, who knows? This is just a matter of the futures. Looks like it's going to try to take it out. And again, when we go back up to the upside, we're not going to reload anything. We've already put our Apple trade to get out through 157. So if that breaks, we're gone. We're just back to flat on this one. But Facebook is $7 in the money as well, and that's trying to go back up. Ooh, I didn't realize that. That would have been a good reload spot back down there to 200, but that's a good trade. Look at all these buys. And this is what I was talking about early. You get caught buying all this, right? We talked about AMD and everything like that. You get caught in here when you're buying it, because if you're going to really try to defend 193 like we said we would, then you got to wait for it to come in, right? Otherwise, you just miss the trade. Sometimes it's good to miss a trade rather than force something to happen.
I will hit the congratulations, Ronnie boy. It's just one of those the risk to reward was there. If this opened up at 5.30 on SoFi, I don't know that the same trade goes on, but right at and just above $5, it did make sense to that low. If we can get to 50, I think it'll be great. I've gotten some more out in front of 35 because you have this little channel to work with, 35 up to 50. That's, I think, possibly a little bit of a last leg. I will say this market, it's super impressive. A rising tide lifts all ships, even Lemonade. I didn't bother talking about the Lemonade earnings this morning because it was so, like, as far as I'm concerned, when I was reading it, it was so bad, it didn't even deserve mentioning. Their loss ratio went from what I considered bad last report to 15% worse.
Yeah,
and the stock is positive on the day.
Not great.
Cuckoo. I wouldn't buy this yet. Cuckoo. But I just got stopped out. Might have made top wick there. I am in NVAX, of course. Tesla is interesting. Really, really interesting because it got close to these highs. There was a lot of selling going on in Tesla back at about that 820 area, and it looks like they're still doing it. This market pulling back, and if you're wondering why we keep talking about this, and I'm going to keep doing it as long as it matters, shout out to Dom, UVXY has been, we dropped all the way back down to 18, so volatility came all the way back in, and then has been making a little bit of a bounce off these lows. That's why I think you're getting this market turn. It's been a pretty good solid indicator. When you get an extension back to the downside, this market tends to pull back. You see the Tesla pull back in here. Maybe Novavax will start working for me, but it's been an absolute battle with this stock. And until it gets safely below 54, I mean, I got a bunch of orders between 52 and 53.5 because I got a 54 and change short. If we can get through 52, great. Maybe it has to view up, but I want to make sure I'm taking profit on the shallow end because this is one heck of a rally, Brendo.
All right, as we'll keep an eye on SoFi here just to see what happens. But as we said, not terribly exciting so far. Let's have a little look, guys, at some other things that were available to us today. As I mentioned, a whole bunch of headlines coming out of the Financial Times, specifically on Elon Musk, talking about Tesla. He actually said that they might stop selling or taking orders for certain models of Teslas because of out of control demand on FT today, among with a whole bunch of other things. Again, Twitter talked about, Tesla talked about COVID, and China talked about. He said that he spoke with Chinese officials, and they said that COVID lockdowns are being lifted as we speak and are going to continue to move in the right direction. So it seemed pretty positive today for Tesla, guys, back to the upside.
Yeah, and it's super strong, man. Like we were just sort of talking about that, but it's just, you have to watch UVXY. So as much as it does feel like Tesla made that bottom, it oddly enough was not where I anticipated. This morning I told you guys I thought that 93, 95 area we bought was going to be the bottom. It held one time, it did not hold the second time. If we start to come back in here, this is where I'm looking for the dip. It's where, forget about the lows, 770, I'm not looking 770, I'm not looking 780, I'm looking right back into those mid-90s. Catch an 800 break and try to grab some in here in those 90s where it made the bottom at the open. And maybe the buyers come in at the exact same price. If I can catch any curl there, maybe you'll have UVXY turning around a little bit that gives us a bit of a trade. But I am looking for the longs in Tesla. There are names that I don't mind shorting off the highs today in this kind of a rally, but it's not the Teslas of the world. Like I'll die in a Novavax sword shorting. I'll die in a firm short. I'll die. I mean, I already lost on Lemonade. So
Hopefully
I guess,
we won't die in anything, but
well, no,
I get what you're saying.
It's a matter of what I'm going to choose.
Yep.
It's either something that hasn't broken yet, or it's something that is broken as a company. It's not something which made a strong bottom, like Tesla, which has already pulled back like 50% from its highs.
Tesla, Twitter, and Musk. Yeah, I mean, you know, this guy's always going to be talking a mile a minute on every single show, right? I mean, I don't think it's about the money for the guy, and I didn't hear anything he said today on any of the other stations or whatever, but I mean, he got Twitter going again. Look, if he's buying this thing out, then he's buying it out, and it's 54.20, and it's a done deal. If he's not, then he's not. Like, I don't understand really what the whole problem is here with this. I don't feel like Twitter should be trading as low as it is right now unless there is some sort of, you know, they say when there's smoke, there's fire, right? And so here's Twitter's daily range. I mean, I don't even want to look at $44 because it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't want to say you buy it if it gets down here, because if it gets down to 44, then quite clearly there's something wrong with this deal. I mean, how many times do we, you know? So it's just one of those things where I don't want to trade Twitter. I'm not super excited about it. any of these levels, unless you look and say, you know what, we've topped out here and we're playing some of these lines and whatnot, then fine. But for me, I don't really have a good grip on why Twitter's down here. I don't know what he's been saying or anything like that. All I know is I trust Tesla. They're making more cars than all other EV companies. I don't know if this is a fact, but I think it is. Like, they're pumping out more cars than all of them combined, every other EV company. So, hey, for me, it's not even a look at Tesla. I mean, at Twitter, I'm a Tesla shareholder. So, I think we could keep buying these dips. I'm buying other names, but I like Tesla here. Obviously, on a minute chart, it is going to be what it is. But on a daily chart here, Tesla still has the split coming. There's lots of action, but I think you got to buy it when we get back down to 750, which could be tomorrow. Some of these levels, I believe, will hold for Tesla. So, look, despite all this distraction, we know he had to sell $8 billion worth of shares to get some of this deal done with Twitter. He's done that. Obviously, Tesla's taking the hit on there, and with the NASDAQ falling down, as will Tesla. So I still believe in this company. Twitter, I'm just holding out for 54.20.
Yeah, another one of the comments today from him, it was actually, it's not a done deal. The deal is not a done deal yet. So we'll see. He just actually said Musk doesn't see any ton of merit in combining Tesla, SpaceX, and other operations under one umbrella, which was another rumor that was floating around last week. So anyways, let's go to Peloton. Peloton with, not a good report. Back to the upside though here, guys. It was a tough trade, but it depended on how patient you were, I guess, right out of the gate this morning as we continue to grind higher here for PTON.
So we both said exactly the same thing. I'm not going to bother to jinx, but we both just said not very. And that's what we talk about with these shorts. It's just everything this morning that I was patient on one, and everything this morning that I was not patient on either was a missed opportunity in that it could have been more, or it was just straight up an L. And there was one trade. I said it this morning. It was this trade right here. Do not go back to if you have a stock which is down this far and is start to make a dead cat bounce on you in the morning, and you get one of these levels, like it comes back from $11.50 down into $11. You don't reshort the same level. Either it fails from there and you're looking to sort of get into the downward party and then you short pops, get better prices. Either you do that or you wait for the big level to come in. And all you had to do was wait for the big level to come in up around that $12.50. And that was a trade that worked once. That was a trade that worked twice. It didn't work a third time because we were now above $13. But I said if it broke above 13, I'm sitting it out till 14 or it holds below. So at least I've managed to follow that rule on Peloton. It could have been worse because there were some late flushes, but the market was stronger. Rivian was doing exactly the same thing yesterday, and there would have likely been the same result had the market been a little bit stronger for Rivian. But overall, Peloton still down that 7%. Still think their only way out is going to be eventually if somebody likes them enough to either put some extra capital in or buy a quarter of the company or just buy it outright. We were saying before, like, what do you think, which business do you think is still around by them or on their own without outside help in 5 years? If you had to pick Peloton or AMC, I'd love to see how many people would actually pick Peloton. People will still be going to the theater in 5 years. Peloton's model, I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, I went for a walk up there to Bloor Street, and the Peloton, they have a big sign out there. It was like, the bike was from 1,900 or something down to 1,400, and I was like, nope, lower, go lower. If it's gonna watch the stock there. But there were people in the showroom, so I'm not, I'm just gonna say that, but how much rent are they paying for these kind of prime real estate spots there? And then, down to the downside for Peloton stock. I hope a lot of those branches or whatever, showrooms, I guess, aren't funded by stock, or else they'll be closing very, very soon. But yeah, the same story for me, just all the way short. We tried into 13 here. You could see just getting out. So not too much damage done on the way up, probably about 10 cents of a hit all the way up for Peloton. I just didn't want to hold it against me, or else we'd have been averaged in and then probably gotten out, once we broke 13.25 or something up here. But yeah, our indicator was 12.50. Once that broke, so that was our last try there at 12.75. back down in. It respected VWAP pretty nicely. Since then, we've just made a big move. This is the first time now that we're under VWAP or under the 50 period. So I'm actually debating a short right now on Peloton and see if it can come back in. We're doing a nice little trade. We have a nice little trade on Apple right now to the short side. Peloton breaking 13 back down in is probably a good short. So I think we'll take that short against that 13.10, which is the 50 period. So that to me is a little worth it, but we got to break 13 first. Back to the downside, we'll take a shot and then use that 13.10 as our out. So let's see if that can work. Peloton back to the short side. Here's Apple starting to come in. It just went down into the 70s. We got to put another bid down there to capture some more profit here on Apple short. Now 58 cents in the money.
Yeah, let's go to big tech. Among the leaders here this afternoon as we get back to the upside, bouncing off that 155 here for Apple, 2.5%. But getting into significant levels from the past couple of days. I mean, they're all there. Microsoft, Facebook, all showing a lot of strength here this afternoon.
Yeah, I was about to say, I actually didn't look at Amazon or Alphabet at any point. And we said this about Netflix, that we didn't. It's on there, and I get it, it's an old fang. It's just, I don't know if it belongs in that category anymore. But my biggest, we don't do frustrating trading anymore, but like, I'm glad you're holding on to Netflix, man.
I got out of it, yeah.
You're leaving me hanging, and I'm like, but this was for you still be.
Shit. You know, I was looking at AMD.
I thought you were still in. So Netflix this morning, I got stopped out of it, and I thought 180 to 182 was a channel. It finally got there late today, but it makes sense because it just came back out of the channel. So yeah, that actually makes sense as a trailing stop. So I forget I even said that.
Yeah, we got out when it broke through 180 back down.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, that's where it tried to break the top. Yeah. That's where the flag is. But look, they don't belong in the category, in my opinion, with the bigger tech names. But they did have a strong break. That 175 area coming back in. There was some of the names that have already been beaten up and already had earnings. They made softer bottoms yesterday, and that was one of them. And then 175 was a break. But I got stopped out a couple of times trying to take this at the lows. Tricky longs off the bottom. And it got me. I'm glad to see that it got all the way back up to 182. I never really looked at Amazon. It was really more Tesla for me was the other one. There was a good long there that I think I'd want to go back to. But when I had a chance to get that Tesla back to 795, I mean, I was just sitting there staring at Novavax like, how is this not a short? Instead of getting into something like a Tesla again.
Okay, what's the topic? Big tech. Okay, so I mean, there's no bigger one than Apple right now. We're short against the high of the day one more time. We were long with Apple. We did good on the long actually when we took it this first time off that bottom. And this is how I trade. And you know, sometimes it works great, sometimes not. As that's the thing when me and Neil are sitting here trading, you're seeing like all of our moves. We're gonna mess up every once in a while. And today I feel like I did that a little bit here with Apple. Like I feel like I should be way more short up here because it also matched with the NASDAQ tops as well. So that's something to look at. But there it is. And we were really patient with it. We didn't short it all the way up, right? We waited on this one, and now, yes, sir, we're more than $1 in the money there on that one, as now everything's starting to fall back in. So this is a good trade for me now on Apple, as we're, yeah, buddy, now we're $1.30 in the money on the downside. But look, the NASDAQ's going to do what it's going to do. And I said this earlier, you want to scalp some out, which we've done, man, and we bounced off that 50 period right here on Apple. But we are now holding it's only about 30%. Damn it, wish it was a little bit more on this. To see if we can get back down here to 154. That's one trade. Netflix, Neil just called that. We were battling it here, not very well, but then boom, goes to the upside off this 173.50 long. We got out once it did break that channel back down through 180. It wasn't a great out because it did come back to 181, but we'll still take that $7 win. The other big cap one was Microsoft. Not enough trades on Softy. This is actually embarrassing. We bought it at 268 right before it went to 273. Fortunately, it broke below our price that we were in, and we got out. Still took some profit, but not that good. And then the one trade that I'm really looking for here, believe it or not, I think AMD breaking like around this 87.50, which is right here. I like this break down here. This is where we came into AMD. We've got great trades off the long. I mean, we just did it for the trade of the day, 85 into here. But if the market fails one more time and we take VWAP, then I like this 87.50 break. So we're still a ways away from that. But again, I don't want to mess with stock when you're in between, especially big cap tech names. The NASDAQ is going to hold you by the you-know-what, and you're going to have to wait for these moves. So why not just get confirmation, through VWAP, through some of these levels. I like 87, sorry, did I say 87.50? It is, it's 87.50 right here. This little area right into there, I feel like if we could test it, break it, then it was a straight line down the last time we resisted that move. So we could go back down into 86, 86.50. So that's kind of the move I like here for AMD. If anything changes, I'll change that. But I like that move to the downside. If you're looking to short anything, AMD was already dancing near 85. Obviously, if we get a chance to go long, we will as well. But hey, for me, hasn't been a great day today. We really hit Disney quite well, but some of the other names, man, Clover, we did a little bit on PayPal, this and that. They haven't been fantastic.
Yeah, back and forth we go for the overall market here. Let's talk AMC to wrap things up here. That was top of the list this morning. After earnings, it seemed positive. It looked positive. In the pre-market, we were up. We got a nice push out of the gate this morning at the open. But look what happened. We're all the way back to 1160 here. Is this, though, maybe a bit of a base? Trying to hold higher here for AMC.
It's, you know, the answer is maybe, but I actually was surprised when I looked over and saw that it got down to 1150 because my last long, we had to stop at 1280 on an initial long a couple of times in the morning, and then we did a 1250 stop on our second to last long. And then I didn't even realize it got to 1150 and the absolute capitulation the market gave in. It tried to break out just there at 12, but that didn't go that far. It got to 1225, maybe 1230. They beat on revenue and wasn't, like, I'm not sitting here telling you that fundamentally it's a great story. I know I made the comparison to Peloton, but I'm not here to say how, fundamentally it's a great story. At the same time, you still have a decent short interest. You are already beaten down, I think, significantly at this particular price point. And when you make bottoms like this, I'm just surprised that there weren't any buyers that came in and wanted to defend this that close to something like a $10 level on AMC. But the volume, quite frankly, has been disappointing. It was disappointing in the morning, and then when we made the last charge up in the market, it was just disappointing now, and that's the problem. When you get these breakouts, volume's got to be with you, otherwise you're going to have a bit of a tight leash. You should have a little bit of a tight leash on some of these. I know everyone wants a diamond hand sort of answer, but if you get the right conditions, yes, you can start squeezing to the upside. It's just, like I said, I'm infatuated with the fact that given the reports that a few of these companies had, I'm looking at NVAX going green and AMC down 5%. I guess this is the market that we're in, although NVAX is trying to come back now. If we get a bounce off 1150, that's where I'll go long again on AMC. But you don't diddle in the middle. I just saw that in the chat, and I like that. Don't diddle in the middle.
Oh, I like that.
It comes to the lows, go long
off
the lows.
Can I steal that? Man. I would have used that in my trade of the day.
You were saying something, and then right when you were talking about don't trade in the middle,
someone said it.
Someone put in don't diddle in the middle.
I like that.
And now we're going to throw it out there. If you say it again, or I'll try and find it, I'll shout you out, but I only saw the phrase. I missed the name in the chat.
Yeah, and someone just put there, what's up, TOC, their portfolio up 25% despite the AMC loss. But for me today, we're down on AMC because, are we? Yeah, we are down. It was rated, was it here or must have been here? It was here, right. This looks like so we took some shares here. This is a pre-market trade, so it's not as many shares as we had earlier. We tried to defend this 13 area. It broke, and we wound up getting out. Like, we were long at 13.10 off that break, thinking that we could have a nice move back to the upside. That would have been a great short. As you could see, that came right back in. And then I think that this was a keystroke down there. I don't remember anything about that down there. So I think we might have got in and then got out there really quick, but that would have been nothing to do with it. We would have had to look at this bottom of 1150. So right now, I still like that AMC long. Like, I'm negative on it, but it's small. It's nothing. It's just I would have liked to have made money on this stock today. I feel like this move to the downside here, breaking through VWAP, breaking through the 50 period, we could have just rode this all the way back down when we broke that low of the day at that time, which was 1280. So really, that's the mistake right there, not taking this low of the day break of 1280, then it's all the way to the downside. This trade kind of looks more like hindsight because I feel like I would have lost because I had a bias long. So I feel like if I was in here, I might have averaged into this long and wind up losing it. But, when companies report and then levels get broken, you saw with Peloton and now again with AMC, it's not really worth holding anything because at that point, you're just getting lucky if it bounces off there. So that's what we did right here. We got in, then it broke 13 and we were like, we don't like it anymore. And then the move continued to the downside. So AMC, just like GME, you got to catch these things when they're moving. Right now, they're not doing anything, but GME had a similar fate here when AMC had that move, right? 104 all the way down to 88, and then a climb back to 98, and now you're kind of stuck in the middle again with GME. So I'm not sure which way to go on these names, but we are below the 50 period, and if anything, it's probably a short breaking through this 1180 right here.
Major movers from this morning. I mean, Upstart was the major mover, but I was just looking at a firm here. Speaking of being back in the middle, same thing, right in the middle of the range, down, yeah, almost 12%, but chopping back and forth we go for a firm. I'll flip over to Upstart and show you the same story. Back and forth we go. I mean, when I sat down this morning, this thing was down 58%. It's 2% higher at this point, guys.
It's been an amazing ride for Upstart, because usually you think down that far, just getting destroyed, the dead cat bounce is the only trade, but it started moving at $8.45 and it was down at $31. And then it halted up to open the day. Like, how bizarre is that? I guess it makes some sense. Lemonade also halted up to start the day. And I did try it after we opened off the halt at 36. I did like that level. It started to fail within that halt range. It stopped out, so the short is from the halt price up to the recent high that it made, which is the 36 to 38 range. That's where I shorted. It stopped out, but it couldn't continue. I had a 40 spot as the next level I would have shorted. It either worked up to 40 and I would have shorted at that price, or it failed to get there and then it just jumped right back into the same range trade we're making post-halt. That ended up working all the way down to 30, so I was able to get it back on Upstart. And then I got into it, like, when the market started making these highs, and I realized, okay, Upstart hasn't even gotten past the 35, back into that 36 to 38 range from earlier. I just got into the consolidation. Now it's rolling over again. I'll have the same $30 to $31 target on it because there's buyers down there. And that's like expecting it to fall too much further when this was a $390 stock. And it's definitely in the competition in the running for the worst one, top to bottom of, I guess, the last couple of years. But yeah, it's been an ugly story for it. Down 57%, decent chance if the market rolls over further, we could be looking back at that 31 price. But I'll tell you this much, a couple days of this, if this consolidates long enough and really doesn't ever break 30, there's just going to be an obvious risk to reward long, and I think a lot of people are going to be looking at, like, the selling got to be exhausted at some point on a name like Upstart, down 57%. It's impressive to see, but no one's happy about it if you actually happen to have held this one in your long term. Just an update on SoFi. I did get back into some shares at about 08. I'm going to start scalping it more aggressively at 525. It doesn't seem like it wants to move all that much, so it's doing great volume. It's probably worth it to scalp it.
Just looking, I'm trying to think about a play that we want to do here. I've looked at all these big cap tech stocks. Like, if you guys have one that we really like that is setting up near some levels, let me know, because I've just looked at Apple right now. We got some out on this short as we took the 50 period again. I was debating, I know I said AMD short, but it didn't hit the levels. That's why we're not short. And then I'm thinking, okay, do I really want to take 89 long? It just busted 89 there and came right back. So I would be long right now on that take. I'm really thinking about an 89.30 long now on AMD. And it's just but this is what I'm dealing with right now, is that the future's up, back down. I feel like we got to either take out the high of 1250 here, or even the very high of, yeah, that is it, 12,550. So either got to take that out or this. And, diddle in the middle there is kind of tough. You're just bouncing around now. And now I feel silly for taking some out of Apple. Well, no, I don't, because I'm actually still at a better price than I was before. But it's are we going to be a short or are we going to be a long here into the close? I don't know what you guys are thinking now. Shorting 13 at, okay, Peloton. I said Peloton short, didn't I? At 13, okay, so now it's right there right now. I think this is a good trade for sure. I don't have it on. It went down to 12.90. I meant to have this on in a 13 break. So yeah, I do kind of like this up to 13.10. So let's put on a Peloton short right now. Thanks for whoever said that there. I did miss that hammock. Thank you, Hamek. Thanks for that. We're going to short Peloton right here against 13.10. I think I like that trade.
Yeah, I guess we're not getting that 14, obviously. I keep saying that if it gets through that price, 14 is the next stop, but if it reclaims it, why not? There's been a few bids. Someone's messing around with a 97 bid, which seems to be holding it at this price. They just pulled it. That was fugazi. Someone was spoofing because they just went from 97 bid for 10,000 shares to pulling the order and throwing it on the offer. So yeah, I'm with you on that party. Someone just said look at Intel. I actually just got trailed out of Intel at the bottom there, and if you know, all week long, 43, 43, 43. If it bounces in front of 43, I'm going long on Intel. It only got to 43 and a half this time, but that's going to be good enough. It's relative strength. It's a safer defensive trade. If we get anywhere close to maybe getting into VWAP with this market showing some strength here, I think that could be a bit of a play. But yeah, I'm in Intel. I was in Intel. It was sort of a one and done for me. I just got trailed out of it on the pullback there, probably around the same time that Chung got trailed on Netflix when the market was pulling back. You put a trailing stop in, sometime that's going to happen to you. Looks like it still has a chance to take out some of these highs. Pretty strong move for all of the semis. Really, it didn't really matter what you got into. Looks like all of them were pretty good. Upstart's the one that is sort of working back into the short side. This Peloton trade, by the way, just to, if it's not obvious, high of day, you know, I'm not giving it past the high of the day. I think that would be a little bit reckless to do so.
Yep. The high of the day.
Oh, no, sorry. Not high of the day, because in the pre-market, it was at $14.
All right.
The high of the afternoon.
High of the afternoon. Okay. I'm only going to give this to 13.10. So my target's a little different there. We'll see if it goes. Again, you know, okay, so now maybe the market's starting to go down to the downside there. There was a decent-sized candle right there coming through on the NASDAQ. It's still not, well, not really, and then it stopped. Oh, man, looking to take this down so we know that the shorts are going to be right. Let's adjust our AMD short right now. We were waiting for 80. It's still so high up, though. Oh, man, AMD wants to mess with these highs, eh? Like, this is a good short, maybe 89. Maybe we got to take this against 89 right now. But that's AMD. Apple's still trying to go downside as well. We're in that one, $1.06 now in the money. Just trying to find out 87.80 now maybe for AMD. There it is right there. That's 88.40. Yeah, there's 87.80. So that's what I was looking at right there on the VWAP. So we do have a VWAP break there, but hey, look, it's trying to go higher. I believe AMD is probably a high trade now, just to take out this 89. It doesn't look like it wants to go down anything right now. So AMD taking out 89, maybe with an 88, like this is your backstop, 88.50, something like that, 50 cents worth of risk to see if you can break this day high, which is about 50 cents of a winner. So you could go 1-to-1 there. I just feel like right now, I don't really have a good read on the market. It's flat, it's not doing anything. I really want to put on a big boy trade, but I just don't see one. We just got Peloton right now. That's our average price is 02. So that's kind of dancing around a little bit, taking out big levels. It looks like it's going to take out, here it goes, it's going to take out 10 right now. We'll be gone. So there it is. So Peloton flushed that idea down the, that's not a flush, that's a bear. It looks like the bulls are out right now. Flush that Peloton idea down the toilet there. So yeah, it looks like the longs are going to be right here. And there goes AMD. We didn't take it, but there's the break. Like I said, through 89. We should have just had that. That's 30 quick cents right there, and we don't have it. So yeah, a little frustrating for me over here.
Yeah, I mean, as quickly as Peloton goes against the money, SoFi goes in the money. And Dominic, what you posted is not going to show up in the chat, but I'm not going short like SoFi. There might be an opportunity to do so, but I do believe overall, when you have the move that it had downside, and when you factor in the earnings that they that got released, overall it's still relatively positive, and the squeeze could be on. So I reloaded at 510. I'm going to see if it can't get back to the 530 area. It looks like 550 might be a bit of a pipe dream. I'm not sure why it can't go a little bit stronger than that, but it's shown no signs of getting through 5 even. You know, it almost doesn't make sense to have a 480 stop on it. At this point, if it breaks 5, you might as well just get out and sort of re-engage back at that low if I still like it at that particular point. So no need to be stubborn about it. That is going up as the market is trying to get back toward those highs, and that means a few things. First, it means that Novavax, which once again gave me one out before even coming anywhere near the last consolidation of 52, and is retesting the high of the day, because that's what Novavax does on a day with an earnings disappointment, is they test the high and are about to try to break out, in which case I am going to have to give up the ghost on Novavax. Super, super strong day on that name. At least Upstart, seemingly, yeah, it's still relatively weak here. Like Upstart's not even close to these tops. You got to be picky and choosy about the names that you're going to go short in, because you're seeing relative weakness. Some are actually below VWAP and trending down while the market hits the highs. Others are just grinding and grinding higher.
SoFi, definitely a good one, man. We're 13 cents now in the money on that as it goes back upside. And I mean, I'm just frustrated right now because I just mentioned breaking AMD 89, and it was like I didn't take the trade. and it's 70 cents, like straight upside there. AMD just exploding to the upside. So I went over to Facebook here and was like, hey man, maybe Facebook will do something for us. And then we didn't get that long either when it broke through this. So yeah, a little frustrated. We're not long anything other than SoFi, and we just took some out again right there. So here's SoFi. We took a piece out there when it came back down. So that's 20, 40, 60, 80. We still got 20% left on SoFi, but we've done really well on this since it reopened. And you know, that's a good one. So thank you for that, SoFi. But man, AMD is going to be really upsetting to me as we did miss that one. Oh, Disney. Disney I actually did quite well on here. We shorted right here. So we went long early, and then it fell down. We were only holding 20%, but then we put on a big trade there and was able to cash it all out down here. Tried a short against VWAP here at 108. That broke, got out at 108.04, and then Disney made that high of 109. So just to give you guys a little bit of context there, we are positive on Disney, and it's because of that trade right there, right? We found a level that we liked when it ripped back up, and then we shorted it and came back, and it was really nice, man. All out near the bottom of the day. Would have loved to have gone long, but then look, here we go again. We tried the short, gave back a little bit of our money there, starting it at about 70, then that's a 90, then got out at 10, so, or break of, looks like 05 or 06 there, or I don't know, even better, 04. A break of 108. So we're going to watch Disney a little bit here as well. I don't even want to see what AMD is doing. Still there, that's fine. Apple back up to the high. We've emptied out of Apple, so that was good on the short. A lot of outs down here into this consolidation. Right now, it just looks like it might have wicked up to that 156. That could be a trade as well. But the NASDAQ making those moves. As long as we stay above the 50 period, I want to get into some more longs. So we're waiting for Facebook to come back in. It's almost got us. We're bidding 40s. So here it comes a little bit lower, like 42 is where we're actually bidding. So if it comes back in, fills us down upside right there. Now we're long into that. And I'm trying to hold it against that bottom wick, which is 199.35. So if that bottom wick holds, then we'll still be in. We want to average into this Facebook trade now. This has been a good one to the long side. We had a great long down here, and we cashed it out right here. So we hit this from the bottom. But again, now we're kind of playing in the middle. So if we break this 199.50, we want to get out of the way of Facebook. Next spot to go long, though, 199.80 right here to average in. And then we see what happens at 199.50. That's the breaking spot here for Facebook.
And back to 535 goes SoFi, so it's still going. Long. The reload off 510 was pretty solid, and now see if we can get 550. I mean, I keep saying that, but it keeps on reversing when it gets to that price, and it just did again, like another 10-cent pullback right when it gets into the mid 530 range. So look, it's pretty obvious. Like there's longs in here that have probably gone pretty heavily off of the reopen. Like when the stock opened up, people were saying, hey, probably thinking exactly the same things we were. And then just went heavily long, and because they have to cover, if they're day traders, they got to cover before the end of the close. That provides some sell pressure, right, as it starts to go to the upside. But at some point, you got to think that'll exhaust itself and it'll come back in. Tesla just bounced off 800 in VWAP. It's starting to come back. Okay, I still like the mid to low 90s, so I'm being pretty patient with this as it's putting in some lower highs. I only want to buy the dip at a price that makes sense to me. It'll be the same thing with Intel. Or even NEO. Like NEO's another one that $13 level, there's a limit to how many times you should play off of a level like that. And clearly the answer for me was not doing it a third time, because when I did it a third time, I stopped out at the bottom and then missed out on every opportunity for it to really go back into VWAP. But now I'm waiting for the quarters and then the 13 even before I go back in to the NEO long. Brendo?
Down tick here, guys. Fed member Mester saying half-point increase in June and July, and then after that, they're going to have to see what is needed. So I'll double-check on the CME Fed funds rate tool, but 0.5% both June and July, it sounds like good to go. But the market back to the downside on that.
Thanks, Mester. Is it Mester? Meister? Mester?
Cares, like as if Meister, I would say.
Meister?
As if that, like I just start building along. Like I'm sitting here doing nothing for, not doing nothing, but you know, for 30 minutes waiting to see what to do. And then this joker comes out and starts talking like this, like just as I'm building my long, like what, did they know I just put this position on? Anyways, we're long right now, Facebook, 200. And it's down to 199.60 right now. So let's wait to see, man. We just respected that bottom. We're going to give it to 199 here. If we break through 199, then we're going to be out. This news, obviously not great, but if they're going to be data dependent, we have CPI coming out tomorrow. Yeah. I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, Wednesday. Should be CPI tomorrow. So that'll be a big one for any of this kind of rhetoric, I guess. And then obviously any more jobs reports before the next meeting comes. So we'll see. I mean, like if he just insinuated that they could go 75 when everybody thought that was off the table, then honestly, man, I'm just going to get smoked on this trade right now, and it's going to break through 199. So let's just see how the market takes this news. It's better than him saying they'll be data dependent than they are doing it. But Brendan, more news.
Yeah, just to clarify, guys, half, so 50 basis point, June and July, they're saying, and then they'll see after that. So here we go. Here's the tool, 89% now. This is June, 89% on the half point hike. This is July, 85.5% in July on the half as well. So it looks like it's kind of in line with what they're saying.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's the other way to read that would be, hey, they could see what is needed and decide that they could pump the brakes a little bit. But
yeah, like I'd rather him say like maybe we don't even go 50 next month.
See, I don't think only one person could say that.
Well, they can all.
Well, okay, anybody could say that, but I think if anybody,
I mean, this guy's already throwing out numbers. Like, what the hell? Like, let's get some.
Like Jerome would
let's get some bullish numbers up in here, so that we can grab this long. Okay, Facebook's all the way back up to flat now, but we don't hold this against us 60 pennies just to get out for flat. So let's see if Facebook now wants to keep it going to the upside.
See, now
hopefully this guy comes out and is like, I'm going to say something else now, and he says something else positive. So let's wait to see. Now Facebook's long, obviously starting to work out, but we just stopped there at about $200.60. So that would have put us only 40 cents in the money. Let's see if we can get back up to the upside. Okay, there we go. We just took that fill again as it ripped back through 50. So there it is. We take a quick 25 cents on 10%. Let's see if Facebook can't get back up here to 202 and change. Look, as long as the market stays above this 50 period line, then I'm happy with this. But again, we do want a big move to the upside. I hate when Fed is running around speaking right now. Now people talking about
what's not stopping?
Gas prices.
It's not stopping SoFi.
Good.
SoFi don't care. That key doesn't work. Oh, it is. That's really slow. And I don't know why I used that one. I looked at it and it had money coming out of it, but I didn't realize it was the plane crash. Yeah,
that's
but
good.
It's a crash.
You came like flying in with your SoFi.
See, but that should be a short that wins because it crashes, I think. Maybe,
I don't know. You guys you landed on your feet.
True. Well, that probably wouldn't happen. But
probably wouldn't happen. No, if a plane blows up and you fly out of it and land on your feet.
What if I had a parachute, bro?
Oh, parachute.
Not that I would ever jump out of a plane. My father-in-law's done it. My brother has done it.
But that plane blows up.
My wife would like to do it.
So
I ain't jumping out of no planes, man. It's just not going to happen. Not me. I'm not that kind of person. But
my brother did it, and he said he wouldn't do it again. He was just crazy.
See, that I've never heard. Most people that have done it once are like, yeah, it's no problem.
Nah, he said it was just too nerve-wracking. Like, it was awesome to do it, but like the anxiety leading up to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he said it was a lot for him.
Yet I want to go to space, so.
But I think that's like, once you're there, like once you're strapped in there, I mean,
the way I
it's
look
like,
at it, it's either someone spent millions
you actually have
and
to
billions
jump
of
out
dollars.
of the plane.
You go into Cessna and someone else hooked that thing up for you, and it probably cost a couple $100s to do it. That's my confidence level in jumping out of a plane. But I feel like you go up into space. Someone invested just truckloads and truckloads of money to make sure that people don't die. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. SoFi is pulling back at 545. And we talked about the second channel it had at the open being a little bit of an issue, 535 into 550. This was the ultimate target. I only have a little bit left, and we'll probably. I mean, it's 3 o'clock now. There's still time for it to squeeze higher. It needs to, if it breaks 550, I think then it's a hold of 580. But I now might buy a dip a little closer to the teens or 20s. I think that's a little safer to do so because I think the stop is at 5 instead of 480. Maybe we don't even get back there and it's just party city for the rest of the day in SoFi. I just can't find any of the other longs that I was looking for. Kind of feel like they don't want to come in. I'm just kind of looking across, looking across the board at some of these other names, and I can't really find them. Although, there's one name that I'm not short just yet that, by the way, if you can find a worse top wick than me top wicking Rivian this morning, it ain't out there, man.
You win.
24.30. It printed 24.40, but 24.30 to see it go to 21. That one stunk, but at that time of day, I missed the reentry because we were looking at it was Peloton, man, and it was Peloton, and of course there's some Oxy and some of the other big names that worked out ultimately, Tesla as well, but. ooh, Rivian at that top. But it's still relatively weak. It's still red on the day. It cannot get past 2280, let alone 23. So this consolidation here, I'm looking at a little base on UVXY, any kind of a pop in UVXY, and I want this short, giving it to maybe 2280, 23 area on Rivian. Ms. V?
Hey guys, we've got a super chat from Gary Mills. Thank you so much, Gary. I hope you're having a profitable day. Guys, what are your thoughts on XLE? Went to deep by $73 or maybe $72? Guys, can we take a look at XLE?
Sure. I mean, okay, so it depends. Everything when we say like when you think you're going to buy it, I mean, it depends on what your time frames are and things like that. I mean, I believe that anytime there's something near the 50 period, especially an ETF, it's probably worth buying. It's respected this 50 period the whole way. But I know why you're saying 70 to 72 because that's been these wick bottoms. But realistically, you could revisit the 200 period. I mean, we were only back here at $62 back in January. So you're talking about 3 or 4 months ago. Oil's been pretty strong. A lot of us know that. But we have topped out on oil near that 120 mark. And now you can see oil's back down 3% today, and XLE still hanging out. I believe in the summer months you're going to get more travel, so gas prices, people are going to be talking about those. Demand for oil and gas going to be going upside right now as travel continues. So for me, I'd like to say start buying now and then average in if you get into the 70 spot. I like 70 because of this area right here. You had some consolidation in and around between 68 and 70. So I think if you can come back in, and again, okay, let me just say that if you're going to put in like a significant part of your portfolio and you're willing to get out if you're wrong, then I think 70 is good, and then you can get out if you take back 65 or something, giving yourselves like $5 worth of room. Breaking this channel back down in, you may retest back down here 61, 62. So for me, I would be looking at this area. And if you're looking at this area, then you really want to start buying exactly where you asked us, like right into here, $71.50, $72, right at the top of this bubble. And then basically using the bottom of this, and you could bring it down to 62, something like that. But I believe XLE is a story for this whole year. I don't think energy is anywhere near being solved. I mean, as Shanghai gets back online, as China gets back online, you're going to have energy problems. You're going to need more oil to produce more goods. Right now, a lot of factories even shut down. So that's sort of my rhetoric why I think oil can go back upside. But again, you do have possible, and I don't know what's even going on with Ukraine and Russia right now, but if there was any sort of a solution to that, then you could have oil drop 5 or 10% straight away in a day, and that might be worth picking up.
True, yeah, exactly, because there was issues.
You just had like an $8 move in XLE in one day yesterday.
But there was pressure. So, there was pressure to the upside before the conflict.
Now there's pressure downside.
Certainly there's obviously some pressure downside, and I'm glad you guys. That's what I love about the community. That there's so many names that have gone just red to green or just breakout central. Fubo, which there's probably no point going over Fubo. We've probably talked about it enough. In terms of what the company and whatnot, but if you look at it since the earnings crush, there is a 350 level, one failed break on a couple of days ago, and then you have on Friday, I guess it was, and then a couple of failed breaks here at 350. It just did it again on this last little push, and if you've seen the show or know anything about these wick tops, it's just the risk to reward. I'm on the offer now. 47. I'm going to put some at 46 as well on the offer in front of the high of the day. And it's just risk to reward. You're shorting in the high 49s and you're out essentially if it makes a fresh high. When if it comes down, if it falls, you could be looking at the mid 30s. I just like the risk to reward there. That's a trade we'll pretty much always put on, especially when it's at a level like this. But it cuts both directions. You don't want it filling the gap on you. Like if it breaks the high of the day, then you're willing to top wicket, and then you get to look about as ridiculous as earlier on when I talked about that Rivian trade. Sometimes you've got to be willing to make that top wick. Otherwise, it could be that trade that ends your day or whatever if you just get entirely too stubborn about it. But Fubo up 20%. Pretty strong move, I would say, for Fubo after the earnings report that they had. But a lot has gotten off these bottoms, and rightfully so. Like when a stock has done this on the daily, I mean, it's not going to take much. Like that 20%, it's really, you're talking about like a 60-cent move from yesterday's close. when the stock was over $60. So in a down market, these percent gainers will be tremendous when they start to go. And that's why finding some of these longs does make some sense. But up here, I just see a short off the top.
Like, I'm all for it, and I'm not going to get political here or anything like that. I mean, I'm all for a resolution in Ukraine and to help out, those in need. But it looks like the U.S. is going to send another $40 billion in aid over to Ukraine, and I don't know how much they've sent already, but that just sounds like a lot of money. But whatever, and that's good. I mean, I wanted to get it resolved. But again, this is part of the issue. That's not going to affect the stock market by any stretch of the imagination. 40 billion is not that large, but I mean, I'd like to see some announcements, also about infrastructure and things like that. And we still, haven't really gotten that infrastructure package that everybody was hoping to get. So another 40 billion going to Ukraine. So there it is. That just came in, and I was just watching the market. Didn't seem to do much. The NASDAQ, because I was like looking to say, was there anything here? Because the NASDAQ went up, went back down. And again, I'm stuck here in Facebook, but the market's not doing anything. So I don't know, man. And the thing about Ukraine too is that the economy in Europe is a tough go right now, man. I mean, even if this were all to get settled, from the pictures that we've seen, and again, I know people are going to go back and forth about all this. It's just like, that's going to take a while to rebuild. And unfortunately, I heard something about like a rocket in Odessa and things like that. Like, these are big time areas where civilians, thank God, have evacuated. But just the infrastructure alone to get back online. And then, will the U.S., when will some of the sanctions ever be lifted? So that's another thing about oil and stuff like that in the reserve. We already know the U.S. is releasing. And then OPEC. I mean, the U.S. is trying to sue OPEC over a few things as well. There's lots happening in the oil space. So I would be very careful investing money into XLE and all this until we get some clarification in the energy side of things right now. But okay, I'm just going to say, okay. All right, let's take a piece out then.
Oh my God, 552?
There we go. Something just ripped up there on Facebook. We didn't get anything. Yeah, SoFi is a nice winner, man. We're 50 cents in the money. You're probably more than that.
No, I mean, all the buys are at the same prices.
Yeah.
So it's like, at this point it's 550, but the longs were obviously off of the 5 and the 510, so we know where we're at. It's just from here, now that it's broken 550, I guess you're really thinking about 575 and that high. Like, that's what we're looking for at this particular point, as this is just an absolute like rocket ship. And the only thing that's confusing to me about SoFi, to be honest, is that it actually opened at $5. I kind of thought, like, why wouldn't it just open at 525? Like, I don't see any. It's a positive report in the stock. The market had already gone top to bottom. You would think it would just open at 535, but sometimes the market gives you a little bit of a gift and you want to take it. It's still not a gift in NVAX because, I'll show you one that's going well. I'll show you another one just grinding off the high of the day. Novavax is absolutely determined, it feels like, to either wait until 350 to do something or just take out the top, and then it'll get really ugly. It is what it is. We're already in it. I promised I'd go over this because someone asked me about it. And I know Dominic, I don't know if he's still in the chat. But remember, anytime you look at penny stocks, always think about the dollar level. MICT, this was a merger deal, an all-stock merger deal. So there were all reasons in the world why it might turn around. And then it got to $1. And if this happens at $1, it goes to 101, and then it consolidates at 95. We always talk about like risk to reward. It's just in 95, stop, high of the day. It's now sitting at like 68 cents. I'm pretty much out of it by this. I got pretty much out of it when it got down to 75. So not much left, but that's a trade you'll take every single time. However, I've top wicked Sundial several times when it's gone below $1, and then you got to be willing to do it. I know it's not Sundial.
No, I remember that name.
It's not at $1 now, but the days that Sundial would break $1, I was always taking a hit because I'd be short in front of $1 there. But when it does work out, you have to try to hold on to at least a little piece of it. MICT, the news also mattered here because you had to watch the stock. Like the company that it's merging with was just tanking when it was at that high. So
got to watch out for those plays. Okay. Let's just move on. I mean, Facebook ripped right up to 201. We took some more out there twice, 20% more of our position out on that 201 move. I'm still trying to hold for the high of the day, man, 202. That's really going to be the play now for me. But see what's happening in the future. Still bounce, back and forth. Not much happening. Roblox comes tonight. Wow. You want to talk about a name that's gotten murked to the downside. Roblox. New York name, because again, that makes a lot of sense. Roblox down to 23.50. Like, Off their last report, it went to 140 or something. On the daily chart, Roblox has just been straight down with the metaverse just like not working very well for them. I guess it wasn't, this is when I bought it. It seems like it wasn't too long ago, November, but now we're way underwater. Look at Roblox all the way to the downside and still getting killed. I thought they report. I don't remember seeing them on the board there, Miss V. Roblox, can you find out RBLX? When?
It's
after the close.
After the close,
okay. So she's saying after the close, Roblox. So we'll see here. It's made a nice bottom. I didn't even realize it went down to 21 and change today. I thought we were low right now, being down 4%, and the market being up 2. But right now, Roblox continues to not really be a trade. I thought we were low on the day. I didn't realize we made all the way back up. But Roblox off of the report. You know what? If you're going to use the Palantir strategy, the Upstart strategy, the SoFi strategy, SoFi's moved up, so fine, maybe that doesn't count. But Twilio, a lot of these names that were C3AI, you talked about Lemonade earlier, Beyond Meat, any of these names that aren't making any money, if they're coming out on earnings, it's going to be bad. So watch out for Roblox coming. I don't see any way that they guide higher. I mean, they're a pandemic play, kids back in school. However, maybe now that I think about this, my kids are still on Roblox, not as much anymore, believe it or not, is maybe summer months might be good months for Roblox because, again, more kids just chilling on summer break. So maybe that's something there for Roblox. I'm not taking the long into this today, but let me just show you something here. This is my board. So this column, if it's red, means 52-week lows. So these are all the stocks that I watch. SoFi, Peloton, Roku, Rocket, Roblox, Teladoc, PaySafe, Beyond. These are all crappy companies. BarkBox, Path, UiPath, Palantir, Shopify, Twilio, Tilray, Snapchat, Aurora, Neo, 52-week lows. Hut 8, Donkey Kong, PayPal, 52-week lows. JP Morgan, 52-week lows. So not crap company, BlackBerry crap company, 52-week low. Starbucks, 52-week low. GE, 52-week low. Square, not, but might as well be. Chewy, 52-week low. Goldman Sachs, this name just goes on and on. Wynn, 52-week low. Canada Goose, 52-week low. Amazon, 52-week, where?
That's more than a 50.
Disney, no, it's 52-week low.
But I know, but it's more than that, but.
What do you mean?
It's just Amazon's chart on the daily is
Yeah, all of this.
Yeah.
Disney, 52-week low. What's this stock? Netflix, 52-week low. It just goes on and on and on. That's brutal, all this. So, I'm trying to watch that. Basically, that's my portfolio. So, not great on that one, but all 52-week lows. We got to remember where stocks came from. It doesn't necessarily mean you're underwater. It's just if you bought anything in the last 52 weeks on any of those names, you are underwater. But there goes Facebook right now. As I was doing that and trash talking all this market, Facebook right now back to highs. Let's go. Let's take a piece out. $1.50 in the money on FB, baby.
And SoFi right to 575 target. We'll do the backflip. I'm out of it. It just even top wick. It comes all the way back to where it was at the open. High of the day now 580. What a super strong name. But at least put out of the misery on Novavax at least, because that one just took out the top. So I did get out of this. I'm not looking to short SoFi off of a level like this. Sometimes I would be in this trade, but it's just been so super strong that I don't want to fight that stock. I'd rather short something which is a little bit weaker if I could find it. And I get it. It probably would have worked here. But I wasn't looking for it. And if you're not looking for it on the curl, you're pretty much not going to get it. This VFF, I just see you guys talking about it in the chat. So and then I saw it on the Halt page as well. So I'm not really sure what the story is with this VFF, but halted obviously looks like a volatility halt at $4. $2 million in volume, but I don't really know what's going on with it or what caused that last little move to the upside. But it is on the radar now. We'll see what's going on with this.
Brendan
VFF.
mentioned that they reported there.
They did report.
We must have missed it there. VFF, right, Brendo?
Yeah, but nothing. There's no reason why it just popped now, though.
Oh, just now.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, sorry, I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah, so no reason why it popped just now. It looks like.
No, I can't see that either. Did you say you had that out at 580? That was great.
75.
Whatever, who cares? That's great out there on SoFi. I was too busy talking about the portfolio and getting wrecked on all those trades. But right now, and I went in there today and I bought more. Bought more NVIDIA, bought more Netflix. We're ready to rock and roll. to the downside, it seems like. SoFi, what a great out that was, man, 575. I wish I would have saw that, but we have fish to fry as well. That was a great out for me up there on Facebook. So we took that right away when it ran up. We were looking at 202. It came right in, gave us basically 202. I mean, we got 201.75 there, so that was a good out for us on that name. Now we'll watch it fall back down in and probably try to reload this name, as again, the market, this is what happens. You got to pick strong names, and then when they blow like this, we were talking about trying to take out that high. We almost got there. It's actually up here, but that high coming right in, almost got there. So yeah, when Facebook goes upside, it almost got there as well. So we're pretty happy with the one-to-one relationship now. We see that Facebook is pretty strong. I'm happy with this name. I'm excited. Yeah, it's pre-market weed stock, that name. So, we got a lot of action on the weed names there. Donkey Kong bottomed out today at what, 1050? Is that true? DKNG here. Let's have a quick look. I don't know. I think it did. 1040 was the day's low there on DraftKings. What a big move back up. But again, some of these names at the day's high. Normally, I'd be all over trying to short some of these, which probably is the right play. Ooh, maybe. Now I'm getting excited, possibly about this short. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to cheer on longs. I do have Facebook long. We'll wait to see. We have 40 minutes now until the imbalances, so that's not a worry for me. Wow. Oh, what I did go in there and buy today, actually, I'm not sure I got filled. I tried to buy more ARC KQ below 50. It doesn't look like I got filled there because it didn't spend too much time there below 50, did it? Nah. So I'm wondering, I'll have to check my account. I don't think I got the note that I got filled on this, which kind of sucks. We tried to pick some up down here. I know, like, what the hell am I doing with ARC? But at some time, this is going to fall in here. Well, it's already fallen in, but could get back upside. I just showed you all that, craziness on the downside. I still think ARC maybe is done, but I was trying to pick some up for a trade down here near 50, not for a longer term play, just to see if we did retrace up, maybe get 10% and get the hell out of there on ARC KQ.
Oh, apparently AMD 90 is a thing. I don't know if
is it? Yeah, I mean, I just
pissed off. AMD 90. I just got into Rivian on the curl there because I was saying that one couldn't get toward the high, so I wanted to short something relatively weak. Yeah, I see. I mean, I just watched Intel fail at the high of the day as well. It's so much easier to pick on some of these other names, but AMD 90, sure, it's a psychological level, but the top was like $1 higher here. I'd almost rather, if you're going to try a short, trap some longs that think 90 is a good breakout, and then short it, like 90-40, 90-50 would make a little bit more sense. I wouldn't short Intel either, but I was just sort of noting that if you saw this, like it actually got through, wicked the high of the day, and then gave a little bit more of a setup there to that upside side of the trade. I'm still looking at SoFi. Like, I'm not done with SoFi. Like, this little pullback, I think might give an opportunity, but it's that previous channel, like this 535 to 550. That's where I think I'd play the dip buy. You can forget about 5 even. You can probably forget about 510, 520. 35 to 50 looks like maybe the channel on any kind of a dip that it could put in, just sort of respecting the levels from before. And if you're just tuning in now, accidentally released earnings, which were good, relatively good. It halted to the downside for whatever reason. They opened it back up. And the market digested the pullback in the overall market and the positive earnings outlook from SoFi, but it is starting to give it back up, looking for a 35 re-entry.
I was looking at Square here. Yeah, it's pretty high up right now. I got out a little bit more Facebook when we broke through 201 there, but that's okay. On that, I'm fine to do it. We have enough shares that we can get in and out of that one. Here's Square. Square up nicely, man. Up more than the market, or around the market, up 3% right now. A nicely done day for Square. They rallied a little bit and then just came right back into this 52-week low spot that we already hit it today, that had already made that down here at 80.50. So Square, it did. No, sorry, its 52-week low is $80. I don't know where that came from. Oh, right here. Just back today. Yeah, so it made it today. Up $5. So Square today, wow. Big move to the upside, just trying to fade out here. And so I was debating going short now. The market was thinking about breaking, like going short Square against that 87. I mean, FinTech, we talked about Upstart. Obviously, Square's in that space as well. But I'm nervous about going short when we're still above the 50 period here on the NASDAQ. So maybe 86.50 we can test, which could come in right now on that short. But it could also be a long and then using that as an out. So right now, a little bit like struck here on what to do with this market right now. I feel like it's not really giving us any kind of ways Peloton, we tried to short that. You guys saw that. We took about a 4 or 5 cent hit as our average price was about 0.4. We got out there on 12, so about 7-8 cent hit on that one. First T-ball game is tonight. We're excited for that. That's going to be coming through. You know what? What about JP Morgan? I mean, maybe we just look at the banks here into the close. See, now the market's starting to come out. So maybe that is going to be something. Look at this right there. 118.80 on JP Morgan for a possible break. That's something there to look at. Yeah, that could be a breaking spot right there for JP Morgan. This bottom that's held all afternoon, if the market gives it up, you could get a nice break to the downside here for JPM. So watch out for that 118.80 on JPM.
So I'm looking at that VFF. It opened back up, opened lower, failed to try to get back up towards that high at $4. If you sort of zoom out and look at the last couple of sessions, you do see yesterday's highs right around where we did have that failure point. So it looks like it's a reasonable shot at a short. It's really having some trouble getting higher, but it's a relatively thin-ish book. So I start smaller in the 75 range, and then you really want more shares at like 80, low to mid 80s, I think would make some sense, but it might be tricky to even catch a fill. I was asked again, SoFi 35 to 50 is the entry point, but that means I want the long in front of 35. But because the channel is up to 50, I would take some out in front of that 50, even if I think it can get back toward those highs. Yeah, it's going to be almost impossible to get fills on VFF. That could just be one of those that we're not even going to be able to get into. Fubo, by the way, I don't think, I just got in. But Fubo, I don't think this is done for a short idea. It didn't work the first time off of that 350. You can see here, but it's really not going. Like it got to 355 and it's starting to turn. This is perfectly valid again. If we just come right back into the 45 to 50 range without taking out the high, I'd probably just jump right back into the Fubo trade. 21%, that's great. But if the market doesn't really rally from here, when you have like just a parabolic extension like that, and then the second breakout doesn't go, the risk to reward does favor the short at that particular point, at least at this price anyways.
All right. Back to me. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm still in that SoFi, trying to find some names, guys. I was debating the short on AMD right now to come in off that 89 right there, that 90 top wick, 90.10. It doesn't really look like a wick off top. I mean, we have a lot of those here that really hasn't mattered, but you are kind of barcoding upside. So it's just like, I don't know what the imbalances is going to come out at, but we have Roblox, we have Coinbase, we have Unity, this is all from Trader Proud, we have Rocket Companies, EA Sports all coming. So there's a lot of names coming at 4 o'clock today. We're still long Facebook. Okay, now the market wants to go back up. So maybe that's the take that we need right here. 90.10 upside on AMD using something like right here as our bottom, 89.60. I mean, Facebook is working nicely. That's now $1.20 in the money. So I always feel a little nervous because you saw what happened to us early on Facebook here today, where we punched the high of the day there, and then that really got us in trouble. Sure, it retraced back up and made these highs, but we didn't have enough shares on because it then broke. It broke the top and broke the bottom of the range. So that's making me a little nervous about trying to trade inside and right now even outside on AMD. See, we just went to 89, we almost took it out there on AMD and then came right back in. So we went to 80, we went to 90.04 there, and 3 or 4 more pennies, you're punch long, and then you blink and you're down 30 cents. So yeah, I'm feeling like this is a short here, AMD. Probably going to get out of another piece of Facebook and then probably play the short. It looks like the market wants to go lower here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Someone just mentioned, thank you, Kev. 8 months he's a member, and he says his favorite Canadians, that's us.
Oh, wow.
Do you know any other Canadians is my first question, but we'll take it to be sure.
We shall.
Canada's a great country, man. If you get a chance to come visit, Toronto's a great city.
Canada's the best country. Did you remember when Judge hit the home run? Did you see what that guy did?
See, that was the coolest thing. I was at the game, actually.
Yeah, some kid was crying.
And I didn't notice that happened until after.
Yeah, it was all over ESPN, and I saw somebody's note. They said, of course, the guy has to be Canadian.
Of course he is.
So
that's
that was
just how
funny.
we are. We're nice.
But I want everyone should be patriotic. So we're not here to say which country's the best or not. It's just us. Yeah, we like Canada.
Someone mentioned Energy and Oxy coming back up. I think it's not high enough for the short. Oxy was like a 60 a 60 short. And if it gets back up there, like just to zoom out on it, like I know it made the 65 top on the daily, but I think this is the level we're working off of. Like it was this morning, sort of looking at the higher low. It gets up there. I think it's a little bit more worth it. It's a strong bounce, and it's really sustaining it pretty well. So that's what I want to look for Occidental. It is on my radar, and I did also get back. Finally, The Rock has come back to Fubo TV.
Yes, sir.
Probably never. He doesn't have it, but Fubo's back below 550. I did say
The Rock could have Fubo TV.
No, he doesn't. Come on, man.
Come on, son. He probably does not have Fubo TV, son.
I really doubt he does. Maybe he does. Who knows? But Fubo back below 550, so I'm right back into the short. Give it to the high of the day. Same game plan as before. Really just going back to the well the second time, and we'll see how it does work out. To come back to a few other names that have that I thought were going to set up, and I guess we're obviously not into Tesla, as the market tried to pull back. Not even to VWAP, not even to 800, not even breaking, obviously. So those low to mid 90s that I liked along, starting to run out of time for that to become a little bit of a play there. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's always time for the market to move, but the later a dip like that would happen in Tesla, the less I would end up liking it. Just the way the market has gone the last couple of days. I wouldn't want to be heavily against the grain to the long side if we're dipping towards the close. It's just not something that has worked out pretty much at all in the last couple of months here. So, we're running out of time for the Tesla dip to come into play. SoFi is grinding down toward that 35, so that might come in a couple of minutes here, but not going to rush getting back into that long.
Rush, Canadian.
It's a great group.
So there we go. Shout out to Austin there. Yeah, not all Canadians are super nice, but I'm glad the ones are. So
everybody here is.
That's good. Yeah, everybody here is half decent.
Except for that Randy guy. He's
some guy named Randy. I don't know. That guy's a nightmare. Okay, so we are now new position alert. Let's go. Oh my God, because we finally went short here on AMD. AMD's been my best stock today, and it's mainly been the long here on AMD. This is the first short we've taken, so we really waited for this downside move, and then that's where it was the trade of the day. We went long 85.50, got the last piece out, and it was about 20%, so it was decent upside there at 89, so that was a big move. But now we're going to trust our instinct a little bit here and just think that this market may want to come into the close. We had some pretty violent moves this morning in the NASDAQ and obviously in an AMD as well. That's already made it up here before today, 90 and change. So look, we're not going to be foolish and say that it can't get back up here. It can. And then that's why we're going to use that break right here. I'm not even going to mess with all these wicks. If it breaks this 90-10, we're gone. That's the point of this trade. So if it breaks 90-10, we're gone. We're out of there. We just got into Facebook. I didn't even realize we had a bid down here. But again, what we're trying to do is protect this 199. So I don't want to be long Facebook and short AMD. That doesn't make any sense. So I got to figure this out. I thought we had lower bids, but again, just stuck talking and leaving bids out there. So watch out for some of your trades. Right now, we just got into more Facebook.
Yeah, I know that I'm only short, but I just looked at it and I'm like, yeah, that's a little more extreme than it felt like about 20 minutes ago. But really, the only thing I was long anyways was SoFi, which is really having trouble getting to my price here, which could be a good thing, but it's just gone below 40. Now starting to come back into play. Rivian got super close to stopping out there, and then just kind of came right back in. Rivian's really doing nothing at this point. If it doesn't make a move soon, like this, that's one of those what or get off the pot. You just walk away from the stock if it's not going to give you trading opportunities. At VFF, no chance to get into any more shares because, like I was saying, the spread was sort of opening up here. So yes, you would like to have 80s or 85s, but I suppose there was just almost no chance to get any more shares. The spread opened to 4 or 5 cents, and really, if it broke up, you were probably getting 90s anyways. Now it's coming back into the 50s. Once we get a fill there, we'll look to the 40s. Maybe every 5 to 10 cents, we'll start getting out. Fubo is starting to roll over a little bit here as that starts to come back down. So I got bids in front of 40, in front of 30, in front of 35, at 32, 33. If it gets to VWAP, that'll be good enough for Fubo. And this is the thing, if it does that fail break, well, if it was valid the first time, you're just essentially putting the same trade on with a few more people in the long trade. And some of the shorts, the pressure relieved for the shorts that got stopped out before, that's less people that are covering on the way back in. So it kind of works in your favor both ways if you get that second break or even a third breakdown. So just rang the register for the first time on Fubo. Nice. I guess I shouldn't hit the flawless victory because I didn't lose the first time, but I haven't hit the Mortal Kombat key in a while, so might
as well.
It's
still a victory, but correct, possibly not flawless victory.
Sub-Zero was my guy.
Sub-Zero, yeah, I like Sub-Zero too. Freeze everybody. I like that. Yeah, Sub-Zero, Liu Kang as well. Shout out to Liu Kang there. Shout out. Okay, so right now, what am I doing on AMC? I meant to do AMD, but there's AMC right now. Came back in, it broke that shelf that we talked about, 1180 there, and now, grinding like that SoFi trade, grinding back down in right now. So you're going to see that break there. If you have it, I still think you can get lower. I didn't take it. We're working with, like I said here, AMD. We did get out of our Facebook. Pretty good trade there as we hit the long, got out. And then, like I said, we got in and out there. I have to double check all these orders because we don't want the long anymore. Peloton, I got to cancel that as well. Right now, the only thing I want to work with is AMD off this high of the day. So AMD right there, I'm going to try to reload some more shares on that name, but we're going to try AMD low as we are now below the 50 period and trying to hold it. So we got to get a few more shares in. If we take down 89.50, we're going to get more shares as well into AMD. So let's go. I think this is the name that we can go with him. Yeah, finish him. It looks like that's what they're trying to do to me if the market goes back up here, but I'm not going anywhere. So we're going to wait on this, wait for that 90, maybe take another fill in the middle here. If the market wants to go down, AMD is a good name for this. It's already retraced a hell of a lot. Let's see if we can get AMD, get a nice win here. Back to VWAP would be pretty sweet, man, if we can get 88 on this, but that may be a pipe dream. Let's go a little more short once we break here and average into this against that high that we just put in. Shout out to Rolling Records. You are the one stamping there on AMD. So let's see if it can hold out. Good trade for me so far.
Yeah, it was Rolling Records that was saying the 90.
Right.
There you go. That's why we love these guys. It's like, it's the best. And I didn't even see
I
VFF.
got more short there.
You guys were spamming VFF in the chat. It's like, yeah, okay. Well, I have the whole page open. I just obviously wasn't looking at it at that moment. But that's starting to come back in. I'm going to quickly go. I did take profit on the first leg there. But here's the bounce happening in UVXY, which means at this point, of course I just got to fill in SoFi. When you're seeing volatility make the bounce, I finally got the long at 37 in front of 35. So that's starting to come in. It might not hold up, but that's where we wanted to be patient about the dip. Rivian not doing anything. Like I said, if it doesn't fall after what I just saw, that's ridiculous. Peloton's back to flat right now, and Upstart is the other one that, on that spike in the VIX, I'd expect it to be rolling over a little more heavily. So some of these names, which were really volatile this morning, not reacting as much. Upstart, Peloton, and Rivian, I think, would have a little more juice to them. Brendo?
A couple of movers to pass along as well, guys. Altria, we mentioned this morning, down on some M&A news over in the UK and Europe. 51.5 just taken out there. Volume comes back into MO, still down 7. Coinbase coming tonight, aftermarket, just popped up as, I guess it broke that level, 74.30 to the downside. 11% ahead of earnings for Coin.
All right,
not good.
There goes the market down. I was just double checking because I tried to get more shares and I was just like, I had an error message. I don't know what happened with that, so we'll have to double check it. Maybe if I refresh some more shares, will magically pop in, but I don't know if we had execution problems or not. Nah, no magic shares. That's okay. All right, but there it is, man. AMD, we're short 89.75. We got out of our Facebook trade. We talked about that. We did not like that long anymore. We emptied out on that one, and good thing we did. Holy Sean, that just went to the downside there. Wow, Facebook collapsing. We have AMD, that's great. No doubt about that, but look at Facebook. Epic collapse into the close now for Facebook. Just, it's not collapsing, you're still up on the day, but that's a big move, man. How hard was it to get that move upside? How easy is it to get that move downside? So, we were sweating here all day with trying to find a short. As soon as we got that on AMD right now it's came back in. AMD, my number one stock by far today, now that we have this short. Nice little 75-cent trade there. And again, look at the risk to reward, right? Short 80, out 10s. That's 30 cents. We're already in the money 75. So we're working with a 2-to-1. Let's make this 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, guys. Come on, AMD. We'll get another piece out here as we bounce around 89, but let's target that 88 like we said.
Yeah, and so as try to manage some of the shorts that are starting to come in here. And of course, the one long, I just got back into a long as the market tested. It's the only one I've had this afternoon so far. But this is the NASDAQ just sort of breaking through that 12.4 and starting to head back southbound here. So, if we're testing toward those bottoms, it's a little bit easier, like we said, in this environment, to try going for these shorts and then see what happens going into the close. But Fubo actually just gave a second look in front of that 330. SoFi is trying its absolute best that one long to hold up at 535. Like, it got right down there, broke 35, which it did on the pullback from 545, and it got to 34 and couldn't break it. It gets below there. That's an easy stop out for me, and then wait around for $5, which I'd be surprised if we saw $5 today, but I also will not be longing into $5. I'll be out if we get through 34s here. If it makes even a decent, modest bounce in front of 550, we said we'd take this range. I'll get the 37s out from 42 all the way up to 47 and see if we can't make the one long start to work. Peloton only now came back in the money, so the hopes of it really flushing, I don't know, relatively slim. Like, I'm bidding down around like the 50 area because we're giving it to 50 at the top. So, I'm looking for this to come down to 50s and then down to 12s, which is at VWAP, but it's really slowly grinding. It's probably going to take the market flushing for Peloton to work out. And I feel the same way about Rivian, where it's going to take the market flushing. It's great, resistance is holding up, but you just saw the NASDAQ come back in, and Rivian's flat on the day, and flat in the last 20 minutes or so, which is pretty disappointing. Upstart's close to about $1 in the money again. That one seems like it at least has a chance to go in that VFF. Probably Dunzo. Oh, Dom, you'll be happy about this one. CYN, which I'm still in. I thought I'd get out of that one pretty easily, but yeah, it's actually bouncing back toward the high of the day. So I'll adjust my stop. If it takes out the high, I'm obviously going to be out of it. I did take one trade off the lower high, but just sort of been sitting in it all afternoon, and it wasn't really doing much until just now.
So we actually had to log out and back in here because I wasn't able to get trades out there for some reason. So I am wondering if I did have some issues there. But we logged out and back in. I haven't made a trade yet, so I'm going to assume everything's fine on that one. So and that sometimes happens. If you feel, and I could just even be going crazy. I mean, if you ask my wife or my kids, I've already been there. But, sometimes you got to log out, log back in, just make sure that everything feels fine, or else, I'm going to be questioning the fills. I thought I should have got one there, and I don't know why we didn't. So, but anyways, AMD right now, the last thing that we're working with, and that was a quick log out and back in. I don't know if anybody has, I haven't seen it, maybe Pratt or Brennan, we can find out what that imbalance is looking like right now, because the market just tanked pretty nicely there. So I want to get into some more AMD. Bouncing off that 50 period right there might be a good little level. I'm still thinking higher than that though, just in case the market does rip up. But we have our plan of action. We're in this trade. We're making a lot of bank right now on this. So does anyone hear a death rattle in the market? Yeah, I mean, I still think that 3750 is coming for the S&P. So someone said, do we think it's going to be up or down tomorrow? Honestly, I think we're still looking to the downside now in the market.
Short till it's
so
not.
It's a short until it's not, exactly. I think you need softy to get back upside, maybe near that 300 again, which is still a ways away. AMD, we've seen those levels. Some of these names are still so far down. I mean, just today, Amazon 52-week low. So, some of these names, Microsoft breaking that 270, Apple nearing that 150 area. There's a lot of problems in this market right now, and I'm happy to be short, so we'll see. But I don't think it's worth swinging anything right now in this market, guys. We just don't know. I mean, you were up and down. We were up today 2%, then down 2%, then up almost 3%, and now you've cut that in half again in the last hour. So yeah, just watch out with all these trades. Brennan just tweeted us 868 to sell.
868 to sell. Oh, there you go. I like that one. Tell them that you just don't know. There's an old YouTube hit that, if anyone gets that reference, it was a while back, the viral video. The guy was singing outside the store with the guitar.
I don't know that one.
And the two dudes came up and
and they ask
jamming
him questions, don't they?
No. So he's playing the guitar,
okay.
and he's playing his own song, and then two guys just show up and just start riffing. It's I'll show it to you after, Mark.
Okay.
It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen on YouTube because everyone was incredibly talented. VFF is, oh my goodness, we have a key for this.
Yep.
Yeah, bear with me for a second. See what I did with that one? Up in smoke.
Okay.
Because you guys told me it was a cannabis stock.
Yep.
Right?
It is,
and now down to 330. So it looks like I'm not on the bid at 330, which is where I thought I should be. Get on the bid at 330. If it takes that out, we'll get in, we'll get out, and then like a little bit of a ninja with some of these plays. And it's just off these highs of the day. Like Fubo, we just got another fill on that one to that downside. It looks like it is grinding down towards this 325. We'll probably only get that and likely no better than that. But VFF just fired off, so I'm now out of that trade. Start to trim some of these positions, even the ones that don't want to go. Like Rivian, I just might have to just take this for, like pennies, because it just doesn't want to roll over. It's not moving at all. The closer we get to 350, I'll just probably dump that one altogether. And it's the same thing with the SoFi long.
Yeah.
Like it just, I mean, it went 3 cents off that 37. And I'm risking 3 cents on the trade. I might just have to sit here and take it out in this consolidation if it doesn't want to go any further. The names that are moving are fine. Peloton's at least starting to come into the downside, so I'm not as worried about that one. And then CYN, yeah, that one has a chance to break out here. I'm not going long at 330 on this break because there's no volume to this move, which can, if we do the, can we maybe, I'll do this. It'll be easier. Yeah, you can see. Not as much volume to this move late in the session here. So for a breakout this late in the day, I'd rather see it chewing through volume, but the time and sales is dead. And pretty much all liquidity I'm seeing when I look at the time and sales are like 95% dark pool print. So not a lot of activity going on with CYN. So no top break for me, but I will have to get out if it does take the high.
Probably someone said, can we change that black smoke to white smoke? Yeah, why is it black smoke? It's like, that's not like an oil fire or anything like that.
It was probably meant to be something else. I don't even know. Yeah.
We haven't been working on graphics in a while. We will. We have right now. We're working on a bunch of other things. You guys will see soon. Our afternoon show with Pratt and Ms. V will be similar look to what we have now.
Same.
So exact same, actually. What am I talking about? Just beside us, they'll be sitting. So that should be a lot of fun when that comes in. The trade of the day that was missed, and we talked about it earlier, I feel was NEO. NEO goes right down to its bottom, literally right there. I mean, you can't. You had the long?
Well,
okay. Well,
I had the long like 3 times.
I guess it depends on where, but like that long around $13, you should have given it what? Where did you have it? Because
I had the long first at 13.
Jeez.
Then I had the long at 95.
Fahad, man, we got to fix that, bro.
I don't know if you come to you just come quickly to mine because I did have this long. I'll come and zoom right in because I can show you. Like I had the long off 13 and scalped it to 20s. Then I had the long when it fake broke and I got some fills at 95 and scalped that. And then the last time they took out the bottom, I got stopped out when it broke 1290. And I never got back into it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to cancel these bids because I don't want to catch this on the way back down. But yeah, that was, I waited for 13 and I did put it on a couple times right after our show, but the morning show. And then just couldn't hold through that low of the day. I think that was Brendan.
Brendan, yeah.
Just checking on this switch again, SWCH. So this yesterday, guys, was 335. It's 335. So more M&A talk coming out on this SWCH. Exactly the same time as yesterday.
What?
It seemed anticlimactic. Like it was 335, then
Yeah,
it's
but
335.
The fact that you would have news drop at exactly the same time
I know.
on the
How does
same
that
stock
make any
2 days in
sense?
a row.
What's wrong with this market, man? SoFi's numbers get leaked, and then this happens, and we had Affirm's numbers get leaked a couple quarters ago, or maybe last quarter.
Yep.
Affirm's,
ain't right.
Affirm's tonight or tomorrow? It's this week,
No, Thursday.
right?
I think Thursday.
Okay, so watch out for leaked report on that one, I guess. A tongue in cheek. Hopefully.
They do it again, and like, come on, man. Where's the fine?
Yeah. That's the last thing we want is a fine to SoFi. I mean, that thing's going to be down in the, worth nothing very, very soon. It seems like, anyways.
If you can't
but
afford
at
to
least
pay,
they got a
it's just-
nice quarter. I can't say anything about that. Okay, so we're still into SoFi. I can't we're not even into it that much, but it's come back down there. Look at that out. And Neil has a 75. It's come right back up. And then right back down in now. SoFi has that huge gap there because, again, today we halted for a very, very long time until eventually they just said, yep, that is what it is. It was 11 o'clock, reopened up at 2 o'clock, and then boom, nice move right to today's high, which I was sleeping on, not even paying attention. We only have 20% of that position left. That was a great, fantastic out at that top. I mean, that's like Palantir did it yesterday. SoFi does it again today. Okay, and I'm talking about those tops. AMD rips back up to the upside right here into a sell imbalance, probably worth shorting one more time. But again, I'm not going to do that. I'm waiting for up here. We've said that we would be as patient as we can with some of these trades. We've got out. We only have half. We still have half. So we still have half of this trade. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? Was hoping for a obviously a move to the downside, so we didn't get out of everything. Didn't really see areas to get out of everything. We thought right here was perfect, 88 and change. So that's really what I'm waiting for, and I still am. And I want to get more short. I've actually put it, if we take down 88 was where we wanted to get out. 88.50 is where I actually rate into here, where I want to go short more. So let's wait to see if that comes through, or we reload it up here near 90. Those are the only two choices we have for AMD right now. I'm not playing in the middle, which is right where we are. We got out of half, hoping for a swoosh down right now. As long as that in market on close imbalance, and you guys might be saying, why do we keep talking about it? Well, it's right here. Right now, it's nothing. I'm actually going to hide this ARCA because we don't care about that. See, we're waiting now. This will update at 550, 550, right? And so 350, sorry. When that comes out, then at 350, this will all light up with NASDAQ names, with New York names, and their market on close orders. So for me, who's short AMD, obviously I'd hope for a net short imbalance, so the market would start to go down, let alone if there's a short, if there's a sell imbalance on AMD. Okay, here we go. Now the market's starting to get juicy. Again, feel bad about not reloading, but that was a great reload spot, but we're staying disciplined and waiting for this. There's the move to the downside. Let's start to get some more out. You just saw me take some out at 80. That's $1 in the money. We cash out the dollar. Now let's wait for more. We're in the 60s for more, and then we'll short that 50 break. Maybe that's not a great trade, but I'm going to try it 88.50 short. If it continues to go down, maybe we get that back to evens or something on the NASDAQ. Who knows? But we're flushing again in the afternoon. This has been par for the course.
Yeah, it really has. And I'm starting to think about what is extending and what is not. So Upstart just found resistance at the $32.50 range. I apologize for these wicks. Some crazy dark pools came in. It hasn't broken this 34.5, but it's really... It's now trying to get through that 50, and I feel like we should already be down at 32. So I'm going to put my target down at 32. Already have enough shorts on. Peloton's starting to go, but I got to take some of that off. And I took out Rivian. I said if it doesn't move, I cannot mess with it. It refuses to fall. So there's just no way I'm going to sit in that Rivian trade. Fubo from the small cap. Also going to have to start getting more aggressive. It might not get down into VWAP, so going to have to take more shares out there. CYN seems actually destined to take out the top. It's getting real close here, and I could leave the stop in, but part of me is just saying I should just get out of it right now, but I'll leave the stop in. The stop is at the high of the day, so we are covered. I kept looking back at Tesla. It is now at that 793. Remember how I mentioned I didn't want that price, and I wouldn't go long if it happened this late in the session. We got here. If we had gotten here at 3 o'clock, I probably would have taken this dip buy in Tesla, but not 340 into what looks like a sell imbalance with only 20 minutes to go. We have to be flat at the end of the day. So even if you catch a bounce, it's like, how much time do you have for it to work? And you're going against the grain, not just today, but overall for the market, which, it's still been a sell. Like we say, it's a sell till it's not. Just going back over to a few other ones. NVIDIA, I know you've been talking about AMD. Sean, NVIDIA, still above VWAP. So some of the levels we were looking at this morning are still going to be valid for NVIDIA when we come in tomorrow. That 72 to 74 area still looking like pretty solid support, but might get put to the test at the close, which can give us at least a little bit of a read as we are back through 4,000 on the ES. Another big level gets taken out, and as usual, it is led by UVXY, which is breaking back out. 19 could be a little bit of a turning point on UVXY. You might see the market slow down its decline at that number.
Okay, so there it is, man. We just took the AMD short as it broke through 60. And now we're going to wait to see where we go. So this is going to be a decent trade for me. I mean, again, it's not a monster share size into the close. Like when we're going to fight that number, we don't need to be doing that. But the momentum is obviously to the downside where we were in the money. We just took it out, man. We were in the money at $1.20 on that. We got out, and now we're short again into this play. So let's go to the downside here and see if we can't start to take out some profit here. We just got a nice bid down there at 45. So we have hit this short. We re-engage in the short. So just more shares there. But you can see our average price is right here at 58. So hey, I don't want to take dimes on this. We want to get a lot lower than this. So hopefully now into this close, the number we were given was
800,
870, yeah, 868 there. So if anybody on the chat sees that change or anything like that, then yeah, let's update. But right now we're going to the downside. We're 13 cents in the money on the reload. Not big, but hey, we're trying to battle back some of these hits that we've made today. It's been a good day overall. It's just we did take too many hits a little earlier on the morning show. This one's been great because we hit that. We hit the Apple long and a few other trades for you guys here today. SoFi was great off that, even though my last 20% not great. There's no doubt about that. We should have got out like the man over here did, but we will wait now on SoFi. I don't like it, obviously, heading into the close, but hey, here we go. Only 8 minutes now, Neil, until the imbalances come through. So I don't want to be in this for a very long time in case the imbalance is the other way.
Yeah, I've mostly gotten out, I'm down to Fubo, Peloton, and Upstart, which That feels about right in terms of what's seemingly going to give some opportunities. Fubo already starting to roll over. Upstart, I mean, down. What more can you do? Be down 58%. I'm looking at that 32. You know what? As a matter of fact, that's ridiculous. I should just hold on to Upstart. If it breaks 32 and the market really does come out like a bill to sell, there's room. Yeah, that could actually fall a heck of a lot further. It could come down to that 31, as far down as it already is. Sometimes things go even further than that. Peloton really starting to go, but I'm having to start to take some out to scalp it out. It just does not seem to have the legs in it. But if it just really drops, I got bids out there for it. But this is Peloton has been unusually strong all day long. Every time it looks like it's about to turn, it just slides down and the buyers step right into it. I guess someone might be trying to pick up some shares of it. Hint, hint. I don't know. But if someone was looking to make an acquisition, maybe
I feel like it's not enough volume.
Maybe they do the
As
volume.
if it's down
This
to
morning,
12.5.
this morning there was a bunch of volume around that 11.50 to 12. So if you
yeah.
find out that someone put a big long in underneath $12 in Peloton, you know it might have started today.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Kathy Wood there.
I believe it.
I don't know. It's
Well, maybe
not really
not her.
a tech
Maybe somebody
stock.
that wanted an
Yeah.
acquisition, but.
That sucks because we were short in this one. That would have been a nice trade for us, but we are out of it there again on that one. That's Peloton. AMD, this is the only position I have on right now. I mean, I have SoFi, but we didn't put a lot of capital into that trade. Again, it's only a $5 stock, and then we didn't know where it was going to go on the reloads or on the reopen. So that's not a big trade. But AMD, it's okay. There we go. We just got a 50. I was going to say I want to take a little piece out there. Now though. Yeah, short. Okay, I guess I can cancel my 89.50. That's probably not going to come in. We re-put one in there off of that move. But right now, into the imbalance, only 5 minutes away. AMD, I still have these targets, man. I do have a bid at 20, and then hopefully that fills. And then after that, we're looking at 88. If that number does come pretty big to the downside, then yeah, maybe you get an 87 fill, something like that. So definitely worth holding on a little bit of time here to go. Still 5 minutes. I mean, anything can happen in 5 minutes. You guys know that if you've been watching the show long enough. Like AMD will just tank 50 cents. And that's the thing I think that we do the best on this show is just giving you guys real action. A lot of people don't trade with live level 2s, so you can sort of see how scalping can work and at the same time how scalping can't work, where you get blown out of positions if you're using a 1 minute chart, which is why I feel like it's important to use 3 and 5s and things like that. Well, we won't do this again, but well, I don't think there's a camera that can do it, but Neil and our screens, like we have multiple charts up. We're not just simply using the ones that we're showing you. That's just for simplicity on the show. But we do have various other things going, including we have the chat open to try to talk to you guys a little bit about some plays. But I look at a 3 minute. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah,
thanks, Fahad. Yeah, so right in here. So I got a daily, I got a 3 on the Qs, I got a 20, I got a 3, and I got a 1, plus what we're showing on the show here. Plus over on this side, we have a few more level 2s and whatnot. Then the chat, email, everything is ready to rock and roll.
Candy.
Candy's right here, Blue Jays right here. So there's lots of stuff happening. Maple Leafs right here. So lots of stuff. But that's it. Thanks, Fahad. Good job.
Go Leafs, go, by the way.
Yeah, go Leafs, go. So here we go into the close, man. Getting spicy for this. Let's see where we go from here.
Yeah, 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go to those imbalances. Man, see, I talk myself out of getting out of Upstart right there in front of 32, and of course it bounces on me. But going into the imbalances, it is now close enough. I'm just gonna get out of it. I want to be trimming positions anyway, so don't want to be sort of caught in anything which is showing any signs of strength into what feels like a little bit of a sell going into the end of the day. Fubo is kind of a similar story. How much do I really expect something which will not have an imbalance to really move here? So I am on the bid for a bunch at this 33. If it clears 33, I mean, I could just pay the spread for some of it, which I'll probably do, but I am still on the bid here for the rest of it at 33. Even Peloton looks like it will not be rolling over. And I'm going to look at it just because I'm really curious. Novavax still didn't fall. At least I never could have won. That's the way. It's like a moral victory in that this was never going to work for me because it's still at the highs even with this pulling back. So Novavax goes 53 to 38, and it looks like it wants to close at 54, up 1.5%. Now that's an interesting market.
Okay, so all right. Well, the NASDAQ wants to go up. We just reloaded a little bit there on AMD, and again, I'm just thinking that into this close, which we have now only 3 minutes. Maybe the imbalance is going to be high side now. I don't know. We did take on some TQQ shares. You could see them come into the play there for me short. So again, that's a triple NASDAQ. So if the NASDAQ goes down, we'll be tripled up there. I feel like on AMD, we can get out of 89.50. If 89.50 gets taken there, especially on this move, then we can get out of that one. So that's 89.50. Looking to reload some shares again, 89 flat here for AMD. So that could be something that we log back into right now. So let's do that. Here's my TQQ trade. Don't have an out yet or anything for anything like this, but there we go. Here's the minute chart. Oh, we have a gap there. I don't know where that's from, but there we go. Averaged in. So trying to play it basically against this 32 level. So that's the TQQ. Now with only 2 minutes to go, I don't know if we have an update or not on those imbalance. Oh, there it is. Prad just gave it to us, 1.1 to sell. So maybe there is some movement to the downside here on the NASDAQ. I'm going to take some more shares now on AMD and just hope that we don't break this 89.50.
So that was I see a spike here on Tesla. I don't think that was real, but it did just bounce off of that 790 anyway. So I guess that would have worked out if you took the long, but you don't break the rules. Regardless of how it works out, you wouldn't celebrate it too much, but still below that 800 mark, that little tiny bounce that we had in the futures, not really carrying through too much, but it is worth noting that the VIX didn't get through that 19, which was previous resistance. So I kind of feel like if we don't get back up there, how much can we really fall going into the close? It'll be all on the shoulders of this imbalance. And as a matter of fact, UVXY is starting to come back in, and that's why you're seeing a bit of a spike. I'm just curious that Tesla's not really moving too much. I kind of also want to be watching some of the names that report. I know everyone's going to be looking at Coinbase. We'll see if it has an imbalance at the end of the day here. It hasn't really moved too much, down 13%. At $70, this thing is at. Crazy Coinbase. So this one we'll watch at the close. Not saying there'll be an imbalance, but you never know.
Sometimes I don't remember the last time I've looked at an imbalance and it's worked in my favor, but we'll see right now if that can come through today. Hopefully today is that day as we're giving back some here on this AMD short as it's starting to go back up to the upside. With only 30 seconds to go though, don't get me out before the move, man. TQQ is going to be out at 32. That could happen before the move as well. We talked about that level right there. I could give it a little bit of an upside, but I already have the stop order in, so I'm not going to worry about it. AMD is really the biggest worry for me, obviously. We need to get some out, especially if this goes back down into the downside. So we're waiting for this number to come out, Neil, in only 10 seconds. Oh, God, where is it? Here's the imbalances right here. So let's see what we do right now with these imbalances coming out. In just a couple seconds, we're short.
Let's see. What do we come out at?
Flat. I don't know. Apple with a big sell, but that doesn't seem to be helping AMD at all. The market looks like it wants to go downside, but nothing happening for me. Apple sell side, nothing else. AMD's just holding out upside, so that's going to suck right now.
And nothing that big, it doesn't look like here. Because Apple BAC, Intel small sell 800. Really nothing too crazy. Penn 600 to buy. Coinbase did absolutely nothing. Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit of a nothing burger, at least compared to what we've seen.
I don't see anything. I'm guessing Apple would have gone down
it's just
there
Apple.
on that
I'll
move.
look at Apple. I was thinking Coinbase might be something, but that's just because of the earnings. Apple went 155 to 154. That's nothing to write home about, as they say, right? So, yeah, a little bit of a nothing burger with the imbalances there. It is, look, I'm not saying nothing is happening. You can see Apple did follow the dollar, but the other day I think we've seen when you come out,
how did this thing come out with?
We can just absolutely die, but not today.
That's what I was going to say. How did this thing come out? Brendan just told us it came out a $2.1 billion to sell. I guess that's probably because of Apple. Hopefully we follow through with that one. We are taking, there it is, okay. So some nice profits right now on AMD. We'll close this for a second. AMD coming back in. We're short 79, whoop-de-doo on that one. Right now, TQQ, hopefully this can come in. Let's just take some more pieces out here. We're short at 72. That's a 23-cent win, and it's only 11 cents in the money right now for AMD. So, we'll have to, hopefully this can come back in. I don't have any bids, so I got to get them in right now. The market trying to sell off that imbalance, but right now it's going to get paired off. Remember, at 355, there is a reload into that imbalance. So get ready for that. It's called an update. I guess not a reload, but it's an update. Yeah. So they reload the number. That's close enough there. But here comes AMD back down.
It ain't the re-up, but you know what it is. I was just watching, one of the small buy imbalances was Penn, and it didn't even do anything, so it couldn't even bounce off of that. Nothing to really see on Penn. I was just kind of looking around, seeing what is actually interesting going into that close. I did talk about Tesla earlier, a bit of a nothing burger as well, although as the market came back in, hey, we're holding above those 90s, that mid 790 area seems to be at least pretty good for Tesla. So that level is going to still be valid. NVIDIA, we were talking about as having some valid levels which have managed to hold up. So you can look at that 175, that looks like it's going to be at least a little bit of support there. Ooh, a little bit of a bounce in the market.
Yeah.
UVXY caught a bid just now. UVXY just caught a bid. Oh, it's at the 1865, which there's your morning high. Seems like forever ago. Their morning high at 1865 there, and then catching a bit of a bid. So it feels like every single turn can be read by volatility. That's mattering a heck of a lot more, it seems like, than the imbalances. But it's an up day, although it's weird because sometimes it doesn't feel like an up day when the last move is down like it is, and we're staring a better than 2% day.
Yeah.
But it's still an up day. Like NVIDIA, 4 points here, NASDAQ, 1.1, ES, hanging on by a thread, but technically it's still green. It's kind of green.
On NASDAQ, give it up, man. This is the TQQ. We just got another fill on that one. So this is a good one. Averaged, and out. I guess I can cancel that. Right now we have a small position left in this. Hopefully it continues to fall down. AMD just keeps bouncing off, but that was a great reload, man. So there it is. We'll go bang. We haven't done any bangs here this afternoon. It's been a good afternoon, man. We've made back a decent amount of money today on some of these shorts. Short AMD into there. We had the Facebook long that we talked. Isn't even going to load up at this time of day. Some Facebook longs that were pretty good before eventually dropping that last one, which that was the short to have for sure. Facebook, man, 200 back down to 197. Like, here I am sitting here trying to get 30 cents on AMD when Facebook went $3. So that's a big move down. We'll try to remember that for some weakness tomorrow for the sticky note. But that's good, man. A good end of the day for me. We had some good plays in. We had Apple short. You guys saw me. I mean, now the Apple short's going to look outstanding off this 156. Like AMD, just the wrong name to short again. Oh man, that's frustrating. Some days we got the right ones, but like Apple, we were just short 156. So that's $2 now in the money, and we put that on for you guys as well. So far so good here. Earnings board, it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, coming up tomorrow morning, remember guys, we'll get into all these earnings, but also 8:30 we'll get April CPI data. Yes, it's delayed from April, but it will move the market, so make sure you're here for CPI, 8:30. Here's what's coming. Not SoFi, but the rest.
Not? Oh, right. Yeah.
Well,
I like that. X is now through SoFi. Yeah, so I missed it this morning. I wasn't even paying attention to this thing. Look at that. Coinbase, Roblox, Win Resorts I like. PaySafe been getting killed. Unity's another one of those names got killed. Everything, man. I mean, it's been a disaster for a lot of those names on there. Nextdoor, rocket companies, Matterport, all getting killed right now. Switch, we just talked about them. Unity down.
The one that I missed this morning.
Disaster,
the one I missed this morning was PaySafe. Yeah, that's another one that's going to be big. Of course, I know a lot of people are going to be watching for Coinbase. Was down 13%. Like 2 minutes ago, now down 11%, but that's the kind of market we are in, and that doesn't really tell the story. I think we all know what's been going on with Coinbase, and if you think a stock can't fall further, if it's a really bad report, then just have a quick look at what happened to Upstart today. Now, obviously, Coinbase has already rolled over, and it's pretty much under pressure at this point, so I don't think we're going to have a flat day on Coinbase. I'm keying in on a couple of things here. Of course, like this 80 level is pretty big, and then 90. Like those two numbers, 80 and 90, if we get back through those upsides, like that's where it could really start to squeeze. But if you're below those prices, it'll be hard not to be thinking about the short. Of course, I'm not going to predict what happens with the earnings. It's anybody's guess, although it's hard to imagine it'll be very pretty for them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to imagine for anybody right now. There's SoFi finally out there. We got 24. No big deal, but missed opportunity for sure. We gave up about 40 cents there on the high side for that trade. Yeah, only trade left, AMD. Was a good one, man. These shorts have been cash right here for AMD. So guys, once again, thanks for joining us. I think we covered a lot of names here today. Amazon green on the day, but still 52-week lows. Roblox is going to be an interesting report tomorrow. And yeah, I mean, just hold on tight and see what happens. That's basically buckle up. Tomorrow's going to be a good one. There's a lot of names that could be down. You said it last week, or maybe it was even, I think it was last week. Yeah, it's like if you're reporting, there's going to be a name that's going to be down 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, and they're good names. So hopefully tomorrow we're able to.
Always.
No, but I mean like names with liquidity. Upstart, Peloton.
Tradable names.
Tradable names, yeah. Like just good names to trade. SoFi is going to be another one. SoFi is going to be real awesome tomorrow again. So get ready for that trade.
And I think Oxy will be good too. Like Oxy doesn't need earnings. Like oil's been moving around. Like it gave you a big move today. This gets through $60. I mean, that could be sky's the limit for Oxy. And so either direction, I think you have to be open to trading it whichever way the market does go. A lot of times you come in with one direction and you think about it, and then it'll work, and then the reverse will happen, and then you miss out on the second part of the trade, which is you get that V shape, and you sort of sit most of it out because you were looking at the shorts in the morning. And that's one of those things always have to get better at, myself included. 2 minutes still to go. Not a heck of a lot going on. I mean, we're trying to get, like, the ES is still green and try to get back above this 4,000 number. So let's see if we can't close above that price. That's about the last thing for us to feel positive about the ES being green. I'd like to see it above that 4,000 print, but I'll be looking at energy and probably a Coinbase right at 4 o'clock.
Someone asked, what's the opinion on Unity? I mean, I really like Unity software. I mean, there's a lot of games. We play some on the Switch that have been built by Unity. There's a lot of talk with them with the metaverse. We saw Activision got bought out. And again, you never want to buy a stock because you think it's going to get bought out, like Peloton, for example. And because when it doesn't happen, then it's downside. Same thing Netflix, same thing a lot of these names. But Unity, again, if Activision Blizzard is a play, you could watch out for Unity software. Right now, again, like, the story is the same for this. If you've IPO'd any time in the last little while, you definitely made a high back in the summer, fall of last year, like Unity did up at 200. Now it's fallen to 48. It's not bad from its IPO because I guess it IPO'd at 70 before ripping, tanking. So watch out now. I mean, I think Unity's a tricky one to call because they could announce, again, releasing of more games, signing of new developers, things like that. I don't know what they're going to predict for the future, but a lot of these revenue streams have kind of disappeared for some of these companies. So watch out for Unity. I mean, it's funny that them and Roblox on the same day. It's going to be a big day for ARK.
It feels about right.
Needless to say, tomorrow. But yeah, right now, Unity software, I like it for a long, but look at the chart. That chart is not saying anything about a long right now. So I like this for a position. At some point, you got to buy it. I just don't know if that's now. I would never buy any of these names. I mean, unless you're playing options and you're willing to lose it all, then I wouldn't get into this because this could be down 30%, just like an Upstart was. So, well, 60% like Upstart, I guess.
And with that, we are now about 20 seconds away from the closing bell. Coinbase, I think, is right at 4 o'clock. Trader Pratt put some of these names in there for us. So, we do have the opportunity to sort of look at that right away. We'll see what happens with it, but the countdown is on. Ms. V's in green. And guess what? The market, at least for now, is still green on the day in 5, 4, 3, 2, and ringing this year.
You said for now. I was really hoping that the market didn't just drop their 1.2%. But
no, so that's my bad because I know we always talk about the NASDAQ. It was the ES that was right at flat.
Still right at flat.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I don't know what the ES ended at, Brandon. So what did it end at?
I was just trying to refresh my page here, guys. It was about 1.8, I think. 0.18. I mean, that's what Google says right now. If you want to see what I'm looking at as far as the board is concerned. Yep, there you go. Oh, hey, it loaded. 1.3 for the NASDAQ leading the way. 0.3 there for the S&P. So about the same for the Dow to the downside. Oil had a tough day, 3%, yeah. Nice to see Bitcoin and Ethereum positive. I did read a note, though, guys. Apparently that Luna fell 40% today.
Luna? Yeah, I think there was some talk about what is Luna that one? Is that a metaverse one?
Is that?
I don't know, but there was. We were talking about this yesterday. I forget the stable coin, but
something lost a peg and it got crushed.
There was something there that got absolutely destroyed. I don't know what that was. I'll have to find it out.
I hate when that happens.
I didn't even read the story. So
well, the thing is, I read it, but it was like I read it at like 6 a.m. or something.
So yesterday. It was. I think maybe was it Terra Luna?
It was Terra.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what it is. So that's Terra Luna, the stable coin. People talking about it. So that was yesterday. Not Tether. Oh my God. If it was Tether, that would be bad. Lost the USD to Sean. Yeah. That's a good one there. I think I'm in USDC. So as long as it's not that stable coin, then we would be okay. I haven't even logged into my account in a while here. I don't even want to look at anything. MTTR, that's a name that I like. I don't know, did they report already? No, they didn't, but MTTR, a good name to report into. We'll see if there's anything flies through right now, but Matterport, nicely done to the upside here today. We'll see if it could take out some levels. Matterport been getting destroyed as well. That, like from 30, this might be a winner as well, Neil, from $34 down to $4. So we have another big one here on MTTR
that's close.
Coming through. But hey, look, earnings are going to be a bonanza today, man. Coinbase, we just saw them all. Roblox, Unity, it's going to be a nightmare for some of those companies, but I'm hoping it's all upside. But it was a good day. Prad's over there. He's got the jacket on, so thanks, Prad. Good show today into the close there and on the midday show. Ms. V, the hardest worker, on all shows and doing her thing over there. Thanks, Ms. V, for that. Fahad, tomorrow you get some relief, my friend, I believe. Is he back tomorrow or tomorrow's?
Tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow.
Yeah, Lucas is back in the building tomorrow. So that guy, like, man about the world, that guy, traveling all over the place. Greece, Italy, Portugal maybe? Or was that Arun? Arun's want to go to Portugal as well. So welcome back, Lucas, tomorrow. We'll say that when he comes back. Brendan, thanks today. Today was a busy day, man. SoFi, I mean, when's the last time we saw that? That was like, what? 3 hours on that pending halt. Affirms was like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that week that you were away, Sean, we had 2 fake news stories and halts to go along with them. So that I kind of thought this was going to be fake news today, but it turns out it's not. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, it was not fake news today.
Yeah.
So.
No, it was real.
Okay, that's enough. Watch out. AMD is the trade of the day. We also hit it at the close. My number 1 stock today is AMD. You're going to see how we traded it in just a couple seconds. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow's 8:30. It's a brand new day. Join us then. We're Trader TV Live. Ciao, guys.
Bye, guys.